it away.
Без меня.
Hello
Ран еще не
everyone, and a
начался,
very
меня уже
warm welcome
плавит.
here from Quality Hotel Venue in Sweden. My name's
Ой-ой-ой.
Caraxx, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be running some Alien Isolation
О,
here for you
наш
today. Just a heads
супер
up, this is
крутой
going to be an
раннер,
all missions,
супер
no major
сильный.
glitches run of the game. So pretty much, if you play this game casually,
Почему-то
just
он
like that,
без
everything's going to be
повязки
able
на
to hear you.
глаза.
In
Не
Alien, there are a bunch
понял.
of sort of clipping and silent movement
Это что
mechanics that are
значит?
all banned. So we're basically going to be trying to go at
Расписание?
pace
Да я
through the game as
вообще
fast
даже
as
не
possible in a
знаю.
game where you're not really supposed to
Наверное.
be able to run. We're going to be using pipe
Ну,
bombs,
вроде все
molotovs,
по расписанию идет
noisemakers,
сейчас.
flare manips, like the whole shebang. We're going to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the game to go as fast as we can. If you see
Таймер в
anything you
конце
like
рана.
strat-wise,
Прогноз.
or if you just want to talk about
Поставить ПБ
Alien, you know, even
100%
the lore, the movies, anything like
РТА.
that, we have an absolutely lovely community,
Что?
and you can find us at speedrun.com/AI.
Так,
There should be
какой
a link
там?
to the Discord there.
2.50?
Absolutely
Но я бы
lovely
поставил...
community,
Да
pretty
я
much
не
welcome
знаю,
me
на
with
что ставить,
open arms
честно
when I
говоря.
started running this game just over a year ago. It feels like
Так
yesterday,
никто не
honestly.
ставит.
Speaking of awesome people that are on the Speedrun Discord, James, do you want to say a bit about yourself?
Уже
Hey, my name's
поставил.
Sneaker James. I go by James. I've been running this game only for about 9 months, but I've run NMG Novice with categories such as all missions and 100%, and I'll be here helping with commentary.
Комментатор Сники Джеймс. Блин, к сожалению, я не знаю этого молодого человека. Я знаком больше с Ника Хартом, который жестко волонтерит на ЕСе. И с... Как его зовут-то? С Дреем, который тоже волонтерил вроде бы. Ну, еще и с психо, короче.
Yes, which one is it? This one?
Так,
Either or, perfect.
Okay, so
ну
I'm
что
going
там у
to
нас?
press space.
Что там у нас с игрой?
Ну,
кстати, повязочку нацепили. Найс. И у нас игра пошла после кат-сцены.
Okay. So when I labbed out a blindfolded mission one ages ago. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do on stream. Basically, the way I did
тут
this,
кат-сцена
I downloaded a metronome app on my phone.
сейчас от лица раннера. Он тоже моргает, ничего не видит, черный экран. Первый уровень такой самый балдежный. Показывает нам ножки. Вот, и все, что нам нужно сделать, это сейчас зайти, нажать на компьютер, карту, так сказать, зарегистрировать, и пойти помыться, что-то там одеться, что-то такое фигней, короче, заниматься. Типичный. Так, а как чатик-то открыть в отдельном окне?
So, in this locker here, this completes the objective of getting dressed. Impressive that Ripley gets changed in such a tiny locker.
It's very crucial to a blindfolded setup here, just to make sure I'm in this
Уже
corridor.
переоделись.
So, one fun thing that the locker does is it reorients our camera. And using this, we're able to actually direct ourselves better towards future objectives. So, the current objective is we need to talk to the two personnel
Нам нужно, в общем, все, что нам нужно сделать в этом левеле, это триггерить всякие диалоги.
So what we have to do here is we go into the room to initiate the dialogue past a trigger, and then back out of the room to cancel the dialogue. So if we wait for long enough,
Вот, он зашел.
the dialogue automatically advances to the NPC's final line. So in a couple of seconds, we'll be going back into the Samuel's room.
В общем, он затриггерил диалог, и после конкретной реплики нужно выходить. Ну что-то он странно вышел. Вот у него прошел диалог, у него пошла миссия дальше. Не, ну слушайте, с таким инсентивом может и в Estimate не вложиться. Пог. Ну тут очень просто на этом левеле передвигаться, тут вообще негде застрять. А чего он так глаза закрыл? Он сказал, что это очень простая игра, что он не будет смотреть вообще. Пройдет ее с закрытыми глазами. Все в шоке были.
So you can see on the subtitles, we've got that last dialogue line. And so now both of the objectives have been completed.
So if I've done this correctly, Taylor should still be just center left of camera, and the door that I just came through should be on the far left. Now there is one situation in which case we'd have to reset the timer in a race.
По идее, мы поговорили сейчас с Тейлор, и нам надо бы обратно, по идее, возвращаться.
Samuels is there.
Perfect.
Ну, я не знаю, какие у нее там сетапы. Не, все, уже Сэмюэль за нами идет. Все. Все хорошо.
Very annoying. So again, I'm using audio here, so I want to hear Samuel's in my left ear, which I do. So hopefully Ripley's orientation should be in front of us, a silver sort of square with a red arrow pointing down saying close. Now typically, this is where the sort of the super hard part gets in, because I don't know how many of you are
что не смотри.
If you're bored, just go boot up Paint, try and draw a hexagon completely blindfolded with your mouse.
Вообще, короче, чужие вот эти вот Alien Isolation, это такой ран. Вот представьте, вот есть раны хорроров, и раны хорроров обычно это не страшная вещь, а вот ран Alien Isolations это страшная вещь, потому что и в этой игре он, ну, не совсем глупенький. Его, конечно, на выходе жестко хайпели, что он там, типа, обучается и все дела, но это на самом деле не так. Но все равно и в этой игре хороший. И иногда он может выдавать, ну, жесткие скримеры, скажем так, появляться там, где не должен быть.
Sorry about that audio spike. So yeah.
Ну, первая миссия пройдена.
To hand it over, if you want to read out any plugs, donations, anything like that, because we have been taking up all of your time.
No, that's fine. That was very impressive. I didn't want to. The fact that you could do that while also having a commentator talk is pretty impressive. I didn't want to add to it.
Вот мы тут скипаем катсцену, в которой вот этот вот сюжет происходит. Авария вот этого. Ну, вы играли вообще в эту игру? Вообще, вам нравятся чужие? Скажите честно.
Cheers from Brazil and PS Hi Joshimus.
Thank you for the 20, man.
And then we have a $10 donation from Steph, who just says, "Save the children." And they both, strangely, put it towards the Epsilon nickname of RJ.
Так, тут на второй миссии практически тоже нет врагов.
Yeah, so I was reading the donators for the blindfolded M1. So quite a few for me.
Там половина миссии точно никого не будет вообще. Все, что делаем, просто идем до катсцены, когда мы упадем.
Okay,
вот
so
это
let's do a quick catch up with the plot. So we play as Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter from the first movie. If you have not watched the original movie and you haven't played this game,
просто
I
поднимемся.
implore you to watch the first movie. The amount of
В общем, наша задача найти
They had to watch Alien pretty much every day making
друга
this game.
себе
And
лысого.
in my opinion, out of all the Alien games out there, obviously I'm a bit biased, but this one is stand out the best. It really nailed the aesthetic. So we play as Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter.
Не тот, о котором вы подумали.
We've been searching for our mother. She's all grown up now, and she's sort of
Но он тоже хороший.
Olympic gymnast, knows how nuclear reactors work.
Правда, когда мы его первый раз встретим, он на пушку к голове приставит. Ну, бывает.
And then Samuels, that NPC we talked to in mission 1, he
Пока что тут, в общем, вообще сейф-зона, зачилка лютая. Ну, тут просто вот нас, грубо говоря, знакомят с механиками, вот там дают потрогать всякие рычаги, там, компьютеры. И сейф-точки. О, ничего себе, он скипнул урон от оголенного провода. Тут, в общем, можно скипнуть урон, если спамить приседания. Но вообще на этой сложности это вообще не критично. То есть если на сложности кошмар это очень важно, тут можно в принципе получить удар и ничего не будет. Немножко какой-то сегмент, в котором у нас персонаж не может бежать, потому что там происходит какая-то сцена постановочная. Корабль мы видим за окном. Не за окном, а получается за иллюминатором. Иллюминатор. И первый такой типа скримерный момент в игре. И разработчики заигрывают с нами, типа, страшно, там чужой ходит. А там всего лишь лампа что-то поломалась. Вообще сиквел к изоляции планировался изначально. Но теперь сиквелы к изоляции, видимо, не будет. Потому что, во-первых, Alien Isolation не окупился. Это во-первых. Во-вторых, чтобы закрыть сюжетную дыру, разработчики сделали мини-сериал по чужому. Ну, это не лайф-экшн, так сказать, сериал. Не в реальной жизни, а сериал, сделанный на движке игры. Вот, там типа объяснение концовки. Так что, кто ждал сиквел, скорее всего, его не будет.
We'll talk a bit about there's two AIs that control the alien. A lot of people, there's quite a common misconception about how the game actually works in terms of when the alien is around and he's stalking you. But in terms of
сейчас мы идем за
a quick summary. In Alien, there is a whole bunch of different categories. You can actually finish the game in less than 10 minutes with certain glitches. Like if you rebind crouch to your mouse wheel, for example, you can rev it up against doors and pretty much clip through from this mission to the end of the game. Which is crazy. So obviously all of those are bad.
Значит, миллион трансляций открыто одновременно, yes?
As I swing down and pick up this jack.
Это странно.
You're going to see sound plays a really pivotal role in the scene when we manipulate it. We pre-drop distractions sometimes with our noise sources towards them. There's really so many different strats. I kind of almost hope M7 goes wrong so I can show you despawning Steve.
Mission 7 is notorious for going wrong in every single personal best attempt.
My M7 split on my split.
И, в общем, для этого мы мультитул брали, чтобы снимать замки из дверей.
And it is aptly named. So, Axel, the character we just saw run across us just now, he's about to make an appearance, so he's going to come up behind us in this cutscene.
И идем к катсцену, где лутаем нового друга как раз, о котором я вам рассказывал. Сцену, конечно же, скипаем. И дальше будет сегмент, в котором появятся враги. Ну там, как появятся враги? Там будет просто сцена, и нам надо будет просто по стелсу сидеть недалеко от них и слушать их диалог. Вот и все. Нужно как можно быстрее эту сцену затриггерить, чтобы наш друган, как его зовут? Аксель, вроде его зовут. Я не помню. Чтобы он пошел, открыл нам проход в свою конуру, где он живет. Что влияет, уложится во время раннера или нет? Ну, на его уровень игры. На что влияет? То есть, что будет, если он не уложится? Сломают коленные чашечки.
we're gonna as I rebind flares. Oh yeah, it's like rebinds.
That's some great loot.
That's some ESA
This loot's fantastic. So flares are incredibly important in this run. Flares are useful distractions. You can light them, and NPCs will go and
Сейчас будут у
investigate
нас
those flares. This works on all
страты
the
с
NPCs,
фаером,
and
которые мы
these are
подобрали по пути.
crucial later in the run, as we really want to use a lot of them.
Yeah, super clutch. So on PC speedrunning, you can run AEL on console. We do have a small but very dedicated group of console runners who are honestly pushing the game really hard, considering the hardware they're on.
Так.
But on PC, weapons 1 to 5, they're bound to those respective keys above your QWER, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0, they're kind of free.
Нет, они не сейчас будут. Вот как раз мы дошли только до места, где он нас... Что происходит? Все, понятно. Немножко застряли. Нас он пытается затолкать в кровать. Осуждаю, кстати. Мужик, ты чё, офигел?
Already. This mission is mostly about building the atmosphere, I'd say, right?
Definitely.
It will ramp up pretty much mission to mission until you end up with stuff like 17 at the end, which is just
В общем, он нас
so this mission's a very nice
приглашает в
It
гости.
tries to be a tutorial mission, so it teaches you about a lot of different things, such as the importance of noise.
Фаер нам понадобится чуть-чуть попозже, чуть-чуть. Там будет первая такая стратка. Надеюсь, раннер будет ее использовать.
Honestly, in the speedrun, the flashlight is next to useless because we know where we're going, we know where the NPCs are hiding and lurking. But
there are some interesting uses for the flashlight, though.
Yeah.
Because one use that we'll see before too long.
Насколько я помню, в туннеле чужой может, да, залезать.
The NPCs will actually kind of say, hold up. Why is the flashlight being shone at me? That's not normal.
You can, I mean, because it's Novice, on Nightmare, NPCs are very,
Но в ране типа такого не будет. Даже на кошмаре. Ну, блин, почему даже на кошмаре? На кошмаре используются вообще интересные штуки. Там на кошмаре с чужим борется немножко не так, как должно быть. Не стелсом, а нападением прямым.
And probably get a run that lives through to the end of the game. And honestly, just by knowing a small couple things, anyone at home can probably beat this game in about 4 hours, honestly.
Он подарил нам очки, которые еще фонарик, который еще и нож-кредитка.
It will take them like 16 hours.
Yeah, I remember when I played it casually, I always thought I was at the end.
Вот.
For like three separate occasions, I never was. But it's great value for money.
Мы дальше будем, в общем, ползать сейчас по вентиляциям миллион лет.
Because this is a marathon and also just for prudency, we are going to be taking a number of safety saves. Alien is very unforgiving with saves. It sort of utilizes that dead space mechanic.
Ну, конечно, да, чужой это совершенно инопланетная форма жизни, но, блин, интеллект прописали люди же ему. Хо-хо-хо. Что вы на это скажете?
Nah, that's all good. Keep going. That's fine. I will take this moment to tell you that I believe this morning we're pushing the bonus game.
Поэтому типа есть, условно говоря, сетапы, при которых чужой ведет себя плюс-минус как-то стабильно. И его можно немножко это обманывать. Там фаер подкинул, там огнеметом пшикнул, и он уже в ваших, так сказать, руках. Крутите, вертите, как хотите. На этой сложности с этим попроще намного все. То в местах, где нужно какие-то придумывать нереальные тактики и надеяться на рандом. О, сейф, кстати, возьмем. Тут ты можешь достать шотган и просто выстрелить чужому в лицо. Вот, и пошла страта. Смотрим. Обратите внимание, как передвигается раннер.
So here we could see, if you were really eagle-eyed,
Постоянно приседает и встает.
revolvers and shotguns. Weirdly, the revolvers are the dangerous one. So here we're waiting for Axel just to show his shiny head.
Он таким образом не издает звука, ну, в игре, для NPC, но при этом движется быстрее, чем просто в приседе.
Yeah, you know you failed this trick if the dialogue doesn't continue, and now you see if I turn around, Axel sort of appears behind me. Normally he chills in that doorway, so yeah, that's a nice big time save. Probably one of the first
Я бы лучше забыл этот ран на рулях, потому что это жесть какая-то.
So Axel's been scavenging.
Ну,
Just to give a
блин, ну это забавно было в любом случае. Никакарт еще же на этой есть что-то на руле ранее, или нет? Или я путаю? Блин, и нашего друга сейчас это немножко того самого. Нападут на него.
Absolutely no chill. And then you see all of the friends of this guy come on the left-hand side. And just like that, unfortunately, the Axel and Ripley romance will never come to be.
А, вот, Silent Hill на руле будет как раз от Ника Харта, наверное, да? Потому что Ника Харт, видимо, все игры на планете Земля заранил на руле. Даже Outlast опередил меня. Я не успел руль починить. Ника Харт уже сделал ран на руле. Вот, и, в общем, заканчиваем миссию. Тут у нас такой типа страшный момент. Мы ждем очень жестко, очень долго ждем, пока приедет. Ну, это не лифт, а вагонетка, скорее. Вот, нас игра пугает, типа, сейчас придет чужой, там, но на самом деле никто не придет. И вообще, если с ума сходить, бегать, прыгать, там, стрелять, какой-то фигней заниматься, он придет. Ну, а так, его не должно быть. А, что я хотел, чатик? Я вам рассказывал про скримеры в Alien Isolation. Я могу вам скримеры в чат кидать. Хотите? Будете пугаться. Ща, погодите.
So there, this is going to be an absolutely clutch tool later in the game, which is the motion tracker. We'll pick that up in the next mission. Here is where you're going to see sort of strats already start to diverge from casual playthroughs. We're going to do a nice, fun little novice-specific trick here in just a second. And yeah, Axel, we spoke about Axel RNG earlier, but all sort of neutral NPCs,
или вы есть среди вас очень восприимчивые, так сказать, люди, и вас не пугать.
How we play the exit. The exit is actually one of the most fun things to learn, but it's also one of the big
сейчас по сюжету мы идем в серверную, или как это назвать? В общем, нам нужно найти ячейку корабля, с которого как-то бортовой, кто-то знает, как это называется. Типа летописец. Какой-то бортовой летописец, в общем, да, что-то типа того. Тут немножко... Ну, это Novice страты. Просто сквозь мужиков пробегаем. Ну, нормально, как вам? На Nightmare бы нам уже что-нибудь порвали. За такие мувы.
Nasty trick that catches out new runners. You can hear him above me, that's the direct AI. So he's despawned from the game for all intents and purposes. It's a smoke bomb here. But he still knows where we are, so he's still following me around. It's kind of just
Еще, кстати, нужно быть супер умным, чтобы ранить эту игру, потому что нужно постоянно решать всякие головоломки. В общем, вот этот бортовой летописец. Я не знаю просто, как назвать это. В общем, да. Мы хотели узнать, что там было на борту, а он, видите, не работает вообще. Толкаем его, избиваем, как будто компьютер лагающий, знаете. Если вы тоже избивали компьютер, когда у вас тормозил, ставьте, блин, не знаю. Я даже не знаю, что вам ставить.
Also, there is another safety save coming up. So green hacks, right? So the hack tool that we picked up
Так,
at the bottom
головоломочки.
of the elevator. This tool is gonna, I guess, progress throughout the game, and you're gonna get more and more symbols at speed. To be able to do the quick exit in this mission, your hacking needs to be pretty solid. You basically, it's gonna look pretty crazy, but we're gonna run through all those hostile NPCs that we ran through again. Steve's gonna kill them one by one. And Novice, by the way, it's a bit of a misnomer.
Пойти в ранее закрытую дверь.
If you don't do damage to Steve with a flamethrower, spoiler alert, we're gonna get a flamethrower or fire damage or something. You touch
И
him,
словить супер катсцену страшно.
He is still incredibly dangerous.
And the only tool that we have now, for now at least, is the revolver and the jack, and neither of those do damage to Steve. We'll talk a bit more about the revolver in the next mission, but yeah, this is, I guess, Steve's first grand appearance with the magical tail that always goes under her leg somehow.
So this is really the introduction of, you know that you're now facing the alien. And in a casual playthrough, the upcoming sequence, you wouldn't normally really face him.
Он такой хвостик.
But here we are going straight into him. And fingers crossed everything will go well.
Страшно.
Very impressive stab.
Подожди.
Difficult to pull off as well.
Кидай скример в чат.
We were talking about NPC RNG just a second ago. That girl Heidi, she could behave in one of like 5 different ways. So I'm gonna go and take our first and only safety save of this mission here. But basically, as I run up the stairs in about sort of 20 seconds around the corner, I'm looking down on the left and I'm going to look how the girl in the baseball cap behaves. She can run one of 2 directions. There's like a beneficial RNG which she runs away from Ripley, and a slightly harder RNG which gives you 2 seconds less to hack, which she runs close by. And then there's absolutely cursed patterns that I'll just have to kind of improv something.
Меня еще на 2,5 часа забанили. Да капец. Да за что? Блин, не, ну это ненормально. А как я говорю, если меня забанят? Ну ладно. В общем, нас сейчас будут супер йоло стратки. Чужой нас не... Ой, хорош. Чужой прошел. Тут просто, да, не надо торопиться, и тогда чужой пойдет искать людей, пройдет мимо нас. Вообще это все можно лорно обосновать, потому что у чужих туннельное зрение, типа.
Okay, cool. So I guess we now meet the next kind of NPC. These guys are all neutral for now. There's a big sort of, I guess, momentous cutscene where all the androids become evil at once. But that revolver I spoke about earlier, that's going to become really, really clutch. There's some really cool mechanics.
Тут у нас это третья миссия уже, да, пошла. У нас появляются новые живые, хотел сказать, живые объекты. Как живой, но не живой. Ну вы поняли, да? Шутку эту старую. В общем, тут вот такие синты ходят. Вообще достаточно такой напряженный момент в игре с этими синтами. Они, во-первых, выглядят, ну так, не особо приятно. Во-вторых, они примерно сейчас вот где-то сойдут с ума и начнут крушить, ломать.
a little dot will sweep through. We just need to get the dot inside the bars. It is completely RNG, and
Спойлеры. Да, блин, игре уже сколько лет. Так кто вообще? Так я же еще не рассказал, почему они все крушат, ломат. А я могу рассказать, если меня не разбанят. У вас есть минута. Иначе я начну спойлерить. Вот видите, что происходит вообще. Роботы, блин, заменили людей. Нету мест рабочих. Блин. Смотрите, что они делают.
I have limited sympathy for him. I don't know if you were paying attention to that cutscene, but he pulls out a revolver, the android starts to kill him. He shoots the revolver, stares in disbelief at it, like guns fire bullets, what the hell, and then just lets the android beat him.
The worst thing is, he always has bullets on him in Novice, so we know that wasn't a one and done bullet.
Беда от роботов, я согласен.
And using that crouch clip glitch that I talked about earlier, he'll actually try and kill you if you break the game here, so no sympathy for Mr. Hughes. May he rest in peace. Okay, so just going to be looting.
4 bullets is really good there.
Yeah.
So that human can contain any.
Немножко подлутали труп.
It is completely random. Obviously, we want 4 bullets because the more resources, the better.
Well, sort of. I want ethanol. Ironically, well, there's 2 forms of explosive, which we'll get into in just a second.
Немножко покрафтим себе медкитов, того всего. Медкиты — это важная штука. Вообще, хорошо иметь всякие расходники по типу тех, которые могут отпугивать врагов. Для чужого это, допустим, дробовик, там, огнемет, а для синтов хорошо подходит, как он называется. В общем, какая-то отвертка. Я не знаю, как это называется, в общем, шокер какой-то. Странно, вот на нас смотрят.
Running whilst heavily interspersing crouches, and what that does is it makes a bunch of extra noise. It's very good for getting the attention.
Думаю, что мы там бегаем туда-сюда.
This is one of the 2 revolver mechanics.
И вот уже пошло месилово. Ну хорошо, хорошая стратка. В общем, сбиваем ему просто граб-анимацию. Потому что если мы этого не сделаем, нас синт поймает и начнет нас колотить вообще по голове так. Бум-бум-бум. У него рука тяжелая, пластмассовая такая. Ну, тяжелая пластмасса. Там, и металл еще там. Еще вместо крови там жижа какая-то белая. В общем, вот так вот.
So here, see his arms come up and I shoot him, that's a grab cancel.
Так,
just to illustrate, now I have 10 seconds of immunity, I'm going to run straight at this guy, he should just punch me. See, just like that.
Задоджили. Что он делает?
So yeah, really clutch mechanic.
Это сейчас было очень странно.
Revolver is really key tool in speedruns.
Another mechanic that was introduced there, but you would have only noticed.
Я не понял, зачем он удар получил, если ему вообще в другую сторону. Ну ладно. Ему, да, сюда надо было.
And if you looked very
На
carefully,
следующую
you may have seen
локацию.
some drool coming out of that vent. If we were to run under that vent, it would instantly kill us.
Ну как, блин, вообще тут сложно на самом деле следить, какая локация следующая, какая предыдущая, потому что, по сути, в игре очень много бэктрекинга. Но при этом он сделан плюс-минус достаточно грамотно. Даже не замечаешь, что ты по одним и тем же локациям ходишь.
And if you go slowly there, if we weren't just sprinting, he would be entrapping formations in many more of those vents ahead of us. But if you know exactly where you're going and you don't get grabbed,
блин, да меня забанят навсегда, если я расскажу, почему синты спесились. Синты, в общем, управляют этой трансляцией. Ой, я вам ничего не говорю.
the probably easiest slash one of the coolest missions in the speedrun. It's super chill, and this is the mission that actually got me into Alien speedrunning. I was sort of flicking through Twitch, and I got up to this point in the game. Typically, I don't know.
Блин, я даже обсуждение не могу открыть, да ё-моё.
Really oppressive.
По лору. Да, Synthwave это, конечно, оскорбление для синтов.
This is the first mission where we really encounter the alien in a hunting mode.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good time to actually talk about the modes of the alien. So there are 4 main modes that the alien can work in.
Hi, Samuel.
И критики хвалили. Ну, это, скорее всего, просто проплаченные были обзоры. Потому что, ну, это входило, так сказать, часть пиар-компании Чужого, то, что они разработали якобы революционный искусственный интеллект, который обучается со временем. Но... Не-не-не-не-не. Даже на кошмаре Чужой, как бы, может в циклы входить. Следующая миссия у нас началась тем временем. Полчаса прошло. Вот, кстати, прошло полчаса, я уже запутался в миссии. Сейчас у нас вроде такая плюс-минус сейвовая локация будет. Нам... Ну ладно, давайте за спойлерами. В общем, там пойдем поручение выполнять, и там начнется резня жесткая. Сори. Вообще, очень красиво постановленный момент. Я когда проходил, мне очень понравилось. Как это выглядело. В общем, ладно, расскажу я вам, наверное, в чем проблема синтов, почему они агрятся так сильно. В общем, агрятся они по причине того, что Вейланд знает, что происходит на этом корабле, и они пытаются доставить Чужого. Ну, собственно, как и в первой части фильма. По сути, Alien Isolation — это вторая часть фильма. Вот представьте себе, если бы Alien Isolation — это был фильм. Вообще игра супер лорная в этом плане. Реально. Там сюжет... я же про сюжет не рассказывал. Сюжет, в общем, в том, что дочь Рипли, спустя там 15 лет, получила... Ну, не получил послание, в общем, ей сказали, что нашли космолет, на котором летала ее мать. Вот, и она решается узнать, куда она пропала. Прикиньте, 15 лет спустя. Я в шоке. Вторая часть, ну, я имею в виду фильма, происходит, я не знаю сколько, 80 лет спустя от событий первого фильма. Короче, вообще жесть какая-то.
Always default to pulling out the tracker.
Definitely. It gives you so much information.
Especially in Mission 10. We'll get onto that later, yeah. But there's all these fixed animation things. Like when Ripley goes into a PC, you lose control of her, or a conduit, or a generator.
Да, все, вот эти воскрешения, это уже не канон. Это все, это уже все. Злой полтора.
Less than 5 minutes every single time.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's such a good quality of life. Strat.
So this mission is really, really brutal at the beginning.
У нас следующая миссия начинается.
The alien comes into range very quickly.
Тут, я не знаю, как это конкретно называется, в общем, какие-то криокамеры или что-то типа того. Нам сейчас надо будет в маленькой вот этой каморке, коридор с 3 комнатами, нам надо будет вот эти вот стержни вставлять. Это такой достаточно напряженный, самый первый напряженный момент в игре, потому что тут по скрипту всегда появляется чужой. Но Fire уже наготове, как бы.
Here, remember how I said we start throwing the kitchen sink at the alien? This is a really cool novice-specific strat.
Раскидочка.
So we pre-drop flares. Flares are kind of like a lock-on mechanic for many NPCs. Androids will lock onto flares.
В общем, да, тут есть жесткие раскидки в игре. Тут не особо вот понятно, что происходит. Потому что... Вы вообще слышали, что чужой там бегал где-то или что-то? Есть в конце более наглядно это все видно. Там прям есть раскидки, в которых чужой там вообще с ума сходит. Просто начинает бегать какие-то места непонятные туда-сюда. Не знаю, как эти раскидки люди искали. Это просто жесть.
If you try and enter a PC too quickly, it will actually just not render any of the logs. It's fine if you actually know which log you need to get to, but if you don't, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Ну да, кстати, ее клонировали. Ну, короче, это все фигня какая-то. Что там чужой плюс человек, там получился что-то там вот это.
There is a backup here, which I actually had to do the other day, where there's these red canisters littering around, and if you can get Steve in just the right angle, these ones here, for example, spawning agent, the canisters will explode.
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
And Steve will upvent. So you do have in sort of limited places an arsenal to deal with Steve. Hi guys, bye guys. Might get shot a couple times. Usually it's 3.
Вообще, да. А, нет, попали пару раз. Ну хорошо, не зря метки завязали. Я думал, вообще не попадут.
Another key skill in Novice is realizing, like, keeping track of your loot and not just looting needlessly.
Тут такой момент тоже веселый будет. Тут главное не подходить в центре комнаты к синту, который валяется, иначе вас схватит за ногу. Цап. И тут вот рандомно может появиться чужик. Вот видите, как завязали? Этот компьютер.
Very unfortunate there that we don't have more sensors. I did put an extra one in the pipe, but typically you get quite a lot here. But there is an opportunity to craft about 15 items of loot before M7 properly starts.
Но все равно, в общем, чужой должен по скрипту будет вылезти. Чуть дальше.
Yeah, do not run under those vents in a casual playthrough.
Oh gosh, yeah, all of these vents are very, very dangerous, and Steve will very happily kill you.
Yeah, so
that's the quickest shot.
Иначе сюжет не продвинется. Чего, да. Тут катсцена, которую нельзя скипнуть. Чужой почему-то нас не убивает, а, блин, какой-то вот этот Джоджо позинг происходит непонятный. Если кто-то знает, что происходит, напишите. Я не знаю, что чужой там понтуется перед нами. Мог бы уже давно поесть.
Just like with those generators earlier, rebinding use the mouse wheel means I can just skip all these prompts super fast. If you pay attention to the health in the bottom left-hand corner, I'll tell you when, but this scene, or this sequence, does variable damage to you based on your current HP. So in low percent runs, which is kind of like a no loot, no hero run.
Всего миссий в игре 19.
I've been running recently. Taking no damage prior to this point is really clutch.
Еще 2 часа.
I think it's up to 30% damage.
Yeah, it can do a lot.
Yeah. So Rippy's health, after I jump onto this ladder and climb up, you'll see as she climbs up into the vents, you see the health drop in the bottom left-hand corner.
This is also one of the first instances of the game giving you scripted health.
Нереальный паркур какой-то происходит.
No health at all, just like the tiniest sliver. Then the game will actually give you enough so that you will survive this sequence.
Yeah.
It's really useful, and especially in something like low percent, being able to get scripted health is incredibly important. It's functionally your only way of healing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are
Какие размножения в синтах? Так там же синт это и есть синт, это синтетика. А чужое же это органика. Как это? Так нельзя.
Mission 7. The famous saying is that in M7 even the backups have backups, so there's going to be a lot of playing it by ear. I'll do my best to be informative, but there will be sort of a sequence where I need like 20 to 30 seconds of serious time. Yeah. Normally here in speedruns, if you're streaming, you'll pause your sound alerts because there's lots of audio cues in this mission.
Just to give an idea of how difficult this mission is, people have put thousands of hours into trying to come up with semi-consistent strategies, not even consistent ones.
Так, у нас...
A community called Twitchy is absurd with the amount of hours he's put in. He is an absolute lifesaver, and a lot of strategies that you'll see in this mission came directly from him.
Just gonna check mine.
So here, HUD, a beep, that is the alien.
Произведи револьверчик.
He'll come on and off the tracker here. So that, James was talking about ranges of hearing. The tracker is
дальше стычка будет, но
it says 0.96. That's kind of an indication.
С большой вероятностью по нам даже не попадут.
That's the maximum range of the tracker, and it coincides with the hearing range of most of the NPCs.
We've got close Jeremy here. Jeremy is one of the NPCs, and we know because that beep came early that he is indeed fairly close.
Как раз сейчас можете увидеть вот, манипуляции с И. Сейчас будем просто стрелять по стенам. Да, только я сказал по стенам, он в пол выстрелил. Ну ты что меня подставляешь? Я тут комментирую, блин. Да почему ты в пол стреляешь, блин? Так, капец. Да он меня подставил.
But here, this strat saves a lot of time if you can get the humans to open the warehouse door for you.
Definitely, it saves upwards of about 60 to 70 seconds, which is a lot. So it requires the humans to get lured by the sound.
В общем, дальше будет уже стычка вполне реальная с людьми. Лучше их, конечно, застрелить.
Then the humans will try and investigate, and as Caraxx mentioned, the humans will open this door, despite this door actually being.
Вообще, вот на самом деле, вот эти сейвы. Они очень много времени занимают. То есть, мне кажется, что... Ой-ой-ой, как же хорошо это было, он всех взорвал. Он всех взорвал этим галлоном. Так, о чем я говорил? Ну это было жестко, это реально было жестко.
Because they're used for all sorts of explosives, devices that can help you. So two of the most important.
Рассказать за сюжет? Так тут этот сюжет. Блин. Но на каком этапе сюжета я вам точно сейчас не скажу. Вообще, мы сейчас должны, насколько я помню, найти какого-то очевидца, который нам расскажет, что произошло на планете, вот на этой. Как она называется? Тут знают, как называется планета, которая была в Прометея?
That is the bulk of Mission 7 over. The rest is really just kind of formality. As I put some components into my blueprints here. Are we going for ladder flags? All right then. Yeah, nice. So we'll talk about sort of in NMG. Excuse me. Most clips are banned, but there are some very sort of.
Планета Прометеев.
We still ban the majority of them, but here if you turn up, look.
Планета пилотов, нет? Братья-пилоты. Ой-ой-ой, вот это глич, вы только что увидели. Я вообще забыл про этот глич. В общем, да, тут можно скипать лестницы, но не все. То есть Насколько я помню, чуть дальше будет лестница, которая будет выглядеть как люк. Там нельзя это сделать.
We've got stuff, we've got Nintendo Switches, RetroTinks, Steam Deck, that's no R, Steam Deck, and we also have a couple PlayStation 5s available as well.
Nice.
So head on over there and
В общем, сюжет... Так я же начинал рассказывать про сюжет. Сюжет игры таков, что мы ищем хоть какую-то информацию о том, что происходит на корабле. Мы прилетаем, и у нас... Сейчас бы не спутать название кораблей. Мы прилетаем на корабле Севастополь. Ну или на английский манер Севастополь. И он нас что-то немножко подбивает нас. Это, в общем, там проблема начинается. Мы хотели пристыковаться к станции, и там что-то пошло не так. Поэтому мы пытаемся уйти с этой станции и попутно найти какую-то инфу. Возможно, даже мать найти.
And so even though Marshal Waits was trying to tell everyone here, do not come aboard, it's really dangerous, there's an unknown
organism.
That message never came through,
Звучит
and they were
смешно.
having a heated conflict.
Yeah, by the way, don't feel too good about Waits being a nice guy. He's gonna renege on that pretty damn fast in mission 10.
Тюнинг соли. Сейчас должны синты пойти на нас.
So here, I'm using a flare to pull these NPCs together, and I'm taking note of the animation.
А посмотри, что по ХП.
О,
Синт отвлекся. Мы тем временем забираем резак. Это трансляция лаганула? Так, сбиваем граб-атаку. Мы сейчас будем жестко танчить. Ну, ХП фуловый, как бы, можем себе позволить.
There's the choke, the punch, and then the super long animation, which is the slam, where the droid will grab Ripley and slam her into the nearest wall.
Достать он нас не сможет из вентиляции, поэтому как бы...
Just feels terrible to get long animations. Maybe I'll show it off here.
Просто скроемся в ней. Это вам не чужой, который по вентиляциям лазит по этим вот.
One of those is later on, much later on in mission 14. It's a notorious show which loves to long animation people, and goodness me.
В общем, да. Потом... вообще, у меня есть док. Погодите, у меня есть вообще док с сюжетом. Со всеми там вот этими хитросплетениями. Я могу его открыть, если хотите. Только там чуть-чуть матом написано, но я не буду читать. Так, спустя 15 лет после первого фильма «Чужой», 26-летняя дочь Эллен Рипли Аманда отправляется забрать самописец. Самописец, вот как это называется. Корабля Нострому. То есть вот эта станция... станция называется Севастополь как раз таки. А нам нужно забрать самописец Нострома, на который привезли как раз таки этот корабль, который нашли. Вот. Прилетев на место, Аманда со своей командой обнаруживает, что станция имеет сильные внешние повреждения и связи с ней нету. Рипли с командой выходит в открытый космос, чтобы взойти на станцию, но отколовшийся обломок разделяет их. Короче, это кринж какой-то читать так сюжет.
Still a dangerous strategy regardless, though.
In Novice, the revolver humans, they're really kind of most lethal when they're in a pack like that. One lone guy.
В общем, на одном этапе, так сказать, прохождения, Рипли узнает, что на Нострома
coming up in mission 12 where I'm gonna get 3 Molotovs.
Была женщина,
So this one Molotov I have in reserve.
и была,
I basically have to throw it
и
away
был
or destroy
чужой.
something. But because of the way sound is engineered, a Molotov will also bring Steve down just like a flashbang or a noisemaker or something like that. You saw the graffiti on the door there, F the Marshals.
Но там не говорится, что это была Эллен Рипли. Там просто сказано, что там какая-то женщина вроде. Тем временем мы дошли до миссии, где мы отправимся в воспоминания одного, так сказать, из участников экспедиции на корабль пилотов. Ну, такая вообще миссия очень атмосферная.
A conversation finishes quicker, and then an objective only updates when 2 characters have finished speaking.
Прям навеивает первой частью. Ну, я имею в виду фильма. Да люди вообще, тут просто из-за того, что из-за чего началась тут какая-то вообще дичь. Там люди поделились на группировки и держат там, грубо говоря, какие-то этажи станции. Помимо этого, есть также люди, которые ответственны за доставку чужого в Эйланду.
And casually, this is just like, it's like a love letter.
Yeah, this is incredibly cool. So if you've never played this game, never seen it before, but you have seen the original Alien movie, or you're in for a treat. This is a fantastic mission.
Basically get to live it. So first time I played this,
вот супер балдежная миссия, но в спидране в ней нет ничего интересного. Тут надо будет очень медленно, долго ходить. На протяжении, не знаю, минут 11. Очень долго. Зато можно позалипать. То, как реально люди, которые делали Alien Isolation, очень постарались.
You can take a breath before you're thrown into about 20 minutes of utter chaos and some of the hardest parts.
Вообще вот Alien Isolation прям классная игра на самом деле. В плане вайба, в плане дизайна вообще отличная. В плане геймплея, ну, геймплей пойдет. В плане сюжета перетянуто. Я вот играл Alien Isolation 2 раза и ни разу его не прошел, потому что игра очень затянута. То есть под конец там уже вообще какая-то дичь происходит. Ну прям совсем кринж.
These guys obviously they're not walking too quickly. Marlowe slash, the player's walking speed is quicker than these guys. So when the dialogue finishes, you can be in position waiting for them and pull them to the spot they need to be. So
that was pretty good RNG there, which is nice.
Decent heist.
Heist can be notorious for sometimes just getting stuck on a rock.
Так, может в доке у меня есть что-то по поводу этого сегмента?
So here Marlowe looks for a way around. By the way, Foster, who's also on Marlowe's crew, is his wife, and she's going to end up being the sort of unwilling host, the facehugger.
Patient Zero.
Yeah, Patient Zero, exactly. You actually saw her body in mission 6 when I picked up the trauma kit. Blink, it's where I healed before those 3 humans were in my way. But it's kind of a blinking
ничего. Ну, типа, в плане сюжета этот эпизод, я не сказал бы, что он супер полезен. В плане лора, возможно.
We won't spoil just in case people sort of want to play the game afterwards. We're sort of tearing through the game at such pace that you're not really getting many spoilers. It'd be hard to remember exactly what we were doing, but Mission 14 there's kind of a big reveal.
After Mission 14, it is all go, go,
I
go.
was running for my life. No more reading for me.
So this is another advanced sound warning.
То, что мы конкретно по сюжету будем делать дальше, это пытаться заманить чужого тех на башню и либо запереть его, то ли отстыковать вообще модуль, что-то вот такого плана.
And it says some rather unsavory things about Wade, because he was interrogating.
Забегая вперед, скажу, что это супер плохая идея, потому что чужие каким-то образом уже там гнездо себе создали, их там уже миллион. Ну ладно, не миллион, но их там с десяток точно есть. Но это такая какая-то, на самом деле, прохладная история, потому что я до сих пор не знаю, что именно считается за каноничное рождение чужого. То ли их в капусте находят, то ли матка яйца откладывает, то ли, блин, это какая-то спора, то ли какой-то вообще Sims. Непонятно. Сейчас будешь шарить, конечно, в канонах чужих.
Really awesome discoveries and findings within the last couple months, which is really cool to see.
So there you saw the sort of alien ship just before the screen faded to black, and you're about to go inside.
В новом каноне. Не-не-не, мне новые каноны не нужны, спасибо. У меня свои есть. Мне ваших не надо.
And so this game's music is something which definitely warrants some praise. Because the audio design in this game in general is just phenomenal.
Sound engineering easily still AAA. You pick AAA games that came out last week, you know, Alien lives up to them. And Spacewalk section.
Новый канон для ценителей запрещенных слова на Твиче.
You may remember from Mission 1, the very beginning of the game, the kind of slow and somber nature of the music, just saying, you're here. And you're investigating something alone.
The title credits music plays a few times too, isn't it? Like in Gemini and KG.
Yeah. And so we have this music very frequently. Most notably, this music plays in Mission 1, Mission 9, and Mission 19.
Сейчас будет очень классный момент.
And so if you do remember, listen out to it then.
Сейчас к пилоту попадем. Просто посмотрите на локацию и на эту. Это же просто жесть. Вот реально респект разработчикам за такие приколы.
Take a look at his visuals, see if it reminds you anything from Alien, because he's also modeled on the way he looks in real life. And I didn't realize it until after my casual playthrough, so you know the answer, type it in the chat.
So here in the middle of the room, it's a lovely, lovely reference.
Локация из Прометея. Ну, вообще, это же капитанский мостик. Так что, как бы, любой, получается, любой самолет пилотов — это локация из Прометея.
And you'll see many, many things in this game that are almost direct references to some of the movies, which is just incredible.
Yeah.
The amount of love and care that went into this game is unbelievable.
Like, I don't know if we mentioned it earlier, but they had to watch Alien every single day making this game. They probably hated it by the end. They did such a faithful reenactment.
One thing that you can see here is the NPCs kind of getting pushed more and more towards the wall. This is known as kiting the NPCs. And it allows us to manipulate them to move slightly closer to where we actually need them to be.
Yeah, you see there's this kind of big open cavern behind us. If you don't pull him to that ledge, he'll go all the way in the opposite direction. You lose about, I think it's about 15 seconds over English.
Yeah, you can lose loads.
Какие еще есть классные игры про чужих? Вот у меня такой вопрос. К чату.
Time save is time save.
Yeah. Also, if you see big blue, potentially radioactive things, don't be like Marlow and just stick your hand in them and stroke them. I don't know why he thinks that's how it works. I mean, he's right.
ВП-2. Ну это чужое против хищника.
Radiation poisoning is a good story. Fell on a night out. Yes. So here we go. Here's the distress beacon.
Стратегия? Вот стратегия. Вот можно поподробнее мне про стратегию про чужих?
Is never discovered in Aliens. It's sort of never really explained in the movie. So they kind of added this explanation. Is Marlow and his crew come here?
Не, Чужой против хищника 2 я проходил недавно Primal Hunt. Primal Hunt. Блин, вообще Чужой против хищника 2 это вообще легендарная игра. Там такой геймплей. Почему таких игр не делают больше? Это же просто офигеть.
Maybe prevent other people from discovering the monstrosity that awaits.
Yeah, also the Anesidora is kind of a reference to Greek mythology. It's like, if you've heard of Pandora, I believe it's an alternative name, but basically that the crew of the ship here, they unleashed the alien upon the station.
А, это все один корабль. Получается, что за раса такая пилотов, которые там создали, грубо говоря, каких-то вот этих чужиков, там всяких вот этих создают, но у них всего лишь один корабль на всю планету. Что за прикол? Не, Colonial Marines это жесть. Хотя, может, стоит поиграть? Я вот вообще не помню геймплей. Я помню, что когда вы выходили, я с кем-то играл, и это было очень смешно играть. Типа, это было не страшно, не супер круто, типа, шутер. Это было смешно именно играть.
In speedruns, typically this is like a quick bathroom break. 10 is like there's no real downtime in 10.
Сейчас спустимся к яичкам.
Yeah, let's go.
It's crazy. So we will likely be mixing in periods of concentration with non-stop explanations of what's going on, because Mission 10 is one of those missions where we go really fast, but the game does not want you to go fast.
Насколько помню, в оригинале не было вот этой какой-то каемочки голубой.
Sort of doing speedrunner things can backfire on you sometimes. 10 is like the first mission with that.
Не знаю, откуда появилась.
The game can actually crash if you're too fast, which is funny. So you have to wait a second.
А нам кат-сцену покажут, где там вот это будет? Кусь-кусь.
This isn't gonna end well, is it?
Oh, a sea of alien eggs.
There we go. That is mission 9. Over and done with.
Не покажут. Не, ну это вообще НСПВ контент какой-то, на самом деле.
I found one person, I'm not sure if you know who they are, Asmo Spiritus.
Okay.
Yep, they said they just.
В оригинале была тоже жесть. Блин, может пересмотреть первую часть.
That was $100 they put.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you very much for that donation.
Yeah. So I had a look. There are a bunch.
Сейчас нам дадут, знаете что?
Yeah, feel free to read them out.
Огнеметик.
Okay.
Лучшее оружие для того, чтобы держать в страхе весь район чужих.
Not only Alien, but the event as a whole.
Yeah.
It's a really good cause.
So many really fun runs coming up with the Subnautica later, Mirror's Edge, Half-Life 2. Things I want to watch.
Alien vs Predator Extinction.
Fantastic lineup.
Вымирание.
If you are able,
Нифига себе.
please do donate. It is a very good cause.
Надо будет скопировать.
So please, if you are able to, it would be greatly appreciated by everyone here.
I will get up at 3 a.m. any day.
Окей, спасибо.
Right, okay, so here we're sort of beginning. Like I said, this mission is called The Trap. It's sort of a three-part opera.
Да, это типа не считается, насколько я понимаю, каноном.
And Ripley ends up having to progress from section to section. So here, I'm going to go and activate the tram that takes us to where we need to go. Otherwise, Samuel's incidentally to the plot.
Это так, чисто чтобы собрать классы. Типа чужой круто, хищник круто, а чужой против хищника еще круче, типа. Но вообще, эти две вселенные классно сошлись на самом деле. Ну, мне нравится, как-то в симбиозе выглядит.
This whole sequence is going to be a combination of all these items that we've been picking up: flares, flashbangs,
Ну, тут
molotovs,
пока
noisemakers, and the flamethrower.
ходим, лутаемся, так сказать, по хабу, по нашему, если это можно так назвать. Пока тут ничего не будет происходить. Ну, мы сейчас уедем, правда, отсюда. И это, получается, мы прошли половину игры, вау. 10-я миссия. Так, у нас тут будет сразу страточка одна с флеером. А у него, подождите, у него ресурсы есть на флеер? У него нет ресурсов на флеер. Так, подождите, он еще с молотом будет теперь. Интересно.
Then pull out the tracker, and they see that number in the bottom left changing. That's Steve's distance from me. So we're going to give him a healthy dose of distance. He's going to run
Я что-то
towards that
просмотрел.
place, and we're going to head off
Или
to
это
the
новая
lobby. This is the
страта
mission 3
какая?
area that James was talking
Или у
about
него реально
earlier.
не было
See, this is where
ресурсов?
Heidi shot at us for the first time.
So this is the big room. We've got a bit of a different layout here with the people, but fortunately these
Вообще, по идее, он и не должен был трафить, у него должен был быть флэр, но, видимо, он что-то расходники, так сказать, порасходовал. Тут, если что, шмотки не везде стабильно падают, то есть есть споты, где... нет, вот, у него есть флэр. А где он его взял? Да ё-моё, да я пропустил опять все. Только что 0 было. В общем, да, тут есть, в общем, споты, где лут 100% стабильный, а есть споты, где лут шафлится. Возможно, там есть какой-то даже принцип. Там, насколько я помню, была какая-то система по поводу того, что там есть область, по которой распределен лут. В общем, там что-то непонятное очень.
But if the alien was to drop behind us, it would be almost certain death. It's really, really brutal. So we have to access 3 of these conduits. So we need to take as many precautions as we can in order to actually make sure that the alien will not drop behind us. Because
по этой локации мы уже бегали, если что, если вдруг не узнаете эту локацию. Сейчас тиммейтом пойдем, так скажем. Вообще сейчас, ну, такой будет сложноватый момент. Реальные обузы. И, возможно, сейчас на нас нападет чужой. Ну, раннер чекает, конечно, датчик. Но пока никого нету. Так.
So we have to wait for the objective to update before we can actually enter this bit.
Steve's around.
Синты ходят.
Moving over my head, but he's not hostile. If I heard, there's so many different ways the game gives you clues.
Не, пока что окей.
That kind of creak is just a very soft control one. You sort of hear louder sounds when Steve is about to drop.
Я еще напоминаю, что тут чужой может вообще в рандомном месте появиться. Ну, в большинстве случаев такого не происходит, но он может так сделать. Сделали выстрел, в общем, чтобы его сагрить на спот, на тот. В общем, нам сейчас много надо будет таких мувов делать. Чуть дальше нам надо будет также сделать. И еще, скорее всего, придется подлутать какие-то ящики, чтобы... А вот. Не видно, что подбирает раннер, потому что он просто спамит забрать все. То есть там, вы видите вот это искажение на экране, которое появляется? Там должен быть написан лук, но абсолютно ничего не понятно, что там написано.
So here he's actually running, he's directly behind me on the opposite side of this wall, but it's actually completely safe. If he does make an
Флэра. О, 4 флэра. Все отлично. 4 флэра. Блин, ничего себе полутал.
Like a Steve save.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
And
so here this exit's a very crafty one. So the alien is forced to upgrade in a very specific vent after going through this.
Осталось выйти с локации просто. Там нас люди будут ждать, правда. Но люди в этой игре не проблема. Люди в этой игре проблема только когда сложность стоит Nightmare. Тогда они, ну, очень больно делают. Я думал, даже не заметит. Нет, все. Как же они поворачиваются? Как же они пытаются уловить спидранера? Но спидранер, он... Спидранер. Не просто же так. Быстрый.
By the way, James is talking about Steve on the other side of the glass there. It's because the lockdown being removed by Ricardo there, that door's like the source of it. So what happened there is we were supposed to lock the alien out in that room and then sneak out. But Ricardo couldn't find a way to clear our exit, so he just undid the entire lockdown. So that whole sort of
Понимаю. Не, ну это уже deep dark lore.
Or Wait has a backup plan, a very nasty one that he's not telling us. Here, by the way, running to this torch, it's kind of like in mission 6 at the beginning, or I could run until I pulled the stun baton out of the wall.
Ой, сейчас будет у нас...
You have just enough time. It's even more unforgiving on Nightmare.
Сейчас будет у нас веселье.
Примерно
вроде бы с этой миссии чужой начинает очень жестко агрессировать. Сейчас посмотрим, как он себя ведет.
So here's sort of serious time, 30 or 40 seconds. The alien can be on a variety of patterns here. I feel like he's going to drop behind me. Cool. And big rule of Novice Steve.
Так.
Do not
Ну это... Вот это стабильный спот. Он должен тут всегда появляться.
If you, for example, you flame Steve, you instantly 180 and start running away. He picks a vent that was in front of you, he will just kill you. I'm gonna get one cycle here. Go for it. So yeah, I waited there to make sure I saw Steve turn around. At any time
Я не увидел, честно говоря, сейчас на радаре вообще ничего. Спереди не ясно, в общем. Там просто еще синт ходит. Ага. Ой-ой-ой, схватил! Да что ж ты проткнул нас насквозь? А, нет! Спугнули! Точно же, это же не хардкор. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой! Что? Не, ну это сильно было. Как же он сейвится? Я в шоке. Да вообще, я ни разу не видел, что во время сейва кого-то убивали. Я и сам никогда не умирал во время сейва. Как будто бы это невозможно, не знаю. Да меня вообще в чате забанили.
Lock onto that noise maker. So like already we've used what 5 or 6 different items in this run. This is why Novice is so fun. You just basically
Да
я
просто...
Steve probably makes an appearance soon. Yeah, there he is.
Ой, вот это сейчас... Ой-ой-ой. Все хорошо, все хорошо. Я просто... этот, комментирую с трансляции русского. Кстати, надо ее обновить. Просто я не знаю, как еще чат читать и смотреть это. Я так и не понял, где чат в отдельное окно вывести. Чат в отдельном окне. Ну-ка, погоди. Что? Что за хрень? Так, окей, погодите. Напишите что-то смешное. Но это смешное, но разрешенное на этом канале. Ну, вроде все работает, окей. Давай тогда снижаем задержки. Нашел эту кнопку. Правда, ничего не вижу, потому что чат какого-то фига очень широкий, не знаю. Чат, вы широкий.
There's a lot to do down here, and it takes a fair bit of time. So having the alien away in a very, very dangerous area otherwise is really, really useful.
You'll see a cutscene coming up, which is my favorite one in the game, which sadly we will have to skip, but it's probably good if you don't want spoilers. The sequence by which Ripley gets out of this back on the station is so awesome. Just flies through the air like Superman and grabs on.
Немножко в окнах запутываюсь.
Так,
что там происходит? Сейф? Сейф.
So you will only ever hear one of those four as you're initially running around.
Сейчас, насколько я понимаю,
it's really cool because every time you get to play the game of which music am I hearing this time?
Again, very frequent use of the tracker there. We did throw 2 flares, and the Lord took, but just to be safe.
Нет, подожди. Надо понять, где мы сейчас находимся, потому что я что-то немножко сбился. Это все еще 10-я миссия. 10-я миссия на самом деле очень долго идет. Это, наверное, самая долгая миссия в игре. А, вот, да, авария случилась. Небольшая. Хватит. А кто там сидит-то? Я не вижу из-за чата никого вообще. Так они фанаты, наверное. Фанатеют. Чё им? А вам сколько платят, чтобы вы в чате сидели, а? Признавайтесь. Мне вот платят $2 за день комментирования.
But if you try and really go and greed that button, he can come up and just catch you before you're able to flame him.
May or may not have lost a potential world record pace run to that. Anyway, so we should probably talk about animation.
50 рублей! Да чё? Так можешь мне просто в чате сидеть?
The reload here is not going off. I keep reloading. It's because I'm peeking in a direction. Same with the jack. If I swing the jack, and you're going to see some pretty cool strats with the shotgun later on, which I can't wait to showcase to you.
Мне кажется, будет overestimate по причине того, что в игре очень много... Что он делает? А зачем он поджег мужчину?
I do see that there's some more stuff to read out, so we'll get to that in just a sec. But this is the awesome cutscene that we just unfortunately can't watch because it takes too long.
Быстрее идем,
So you can see Rippy pull his
быстрее
handle and
одеваемся.
back on the station. Do we have any more
Иначе
stuff
будет
Yes, lovely. Thank you.
разгерметизация.
Single donation from NMG. I think I'm saying that.
Я так не понял, зачем он поджег. Просто по приколу.
They donated $10, and they said Nightmare Steve is more consistent than Novice Steve.
Often, yes.
Вообще, с точки зрения геймплея, сейчас произошла какая-то вообще непонятная вещь. Мы одели костюм, надели. Прошла катсцена, и мы его снимаем. Ну кто такие игры делает?
Honestly, there's so many different ways you counter on Alien. NMG is probably the most popular way right now, but there's lots of other categories. There's, like I said, that glitch where you can finish the game in less than 10 minutes. There's an all missions version of that, CCFPS. There's a no CC version where you can do a bunch of cool clips and you can silent run if that's your thing. It's like when people ask, oh, what's the world record in this game? It's like, oh, which one do you have?
Что же тут мы забираем?
There end up being, I mean,
Дробовичочек.
categories that you can do.
Да, честно говоря, не знаю, где он пригодится нам.
Categories of 100%,
Чуть
low percent,
немножко
and then all
руки
missions and
отвалились.
80%.
So
And then you've got those Novice, Nightmare, so many
У
combinations.
него пистолет заряжен.
Cancel here with the flamethrower.
Very nice.
So just like with the pistol, as you see the androids.
Смотрите, как огнемет вообще справляется со всеми врагами.
Time the source of damage again doesn't have to be the flamethrower or the pistol. It could be, even be a Molotov, although you take a terrible amount of damage. Any sort of damage on the androids will cancel the animation. Also, you should remember to save here. Typically this mission is very chill, but if you kill civilians, as James was saying earlier, there's a bunch of them just like to run in your path next to this revolver guy that I'm going to try and kill. And if I wrench them to death, my screen will go back, and we'll go all the way back, like already 4 minutes ago. So, yeah, Alien
Вот тут вот как раз лежал стабильный лут, только я не знаю, что там было в этом луте.
We do run up against 2 revolver humans, and even though they are individual revolver humans, it can be difficult to kill them because they are surrounded by
Так,
civilians.
подхилимся, потому что сейчас будет неприятный сегмент контакта с людьми и с синтами. Вообще, Alien Isolation мне понравился в том числе тем, что синтов и людей там и чужих можно, грубо говоря, натравливать друг на друга. Это прям классно. С точки зрения механики хоррорной. Типа я не могу вспомнить ни одной игры, в которой так можно делать. Хоррорной. Ну, которую я играл до Alien Isolation.
The androids have now been given a new priority. And this will be, yes, to hug us repeatedly. So much that, well, we may take a bit of damage from it, but
сегмент с поползушками. Вообще в игре очень много поползушек по вентиляциям.
And so we're going to use our tools of encouragement, being the flamethrower, shotgun, and pistol, to try and avoid those hugs as much as possible.
So here's the section where if you accidentally kill a civilian, I'm actually going to try and... This is the guy.
Very nice.
Так, он даже сжег кого-то. Только не попадись. Ой, как же он задоджил! Хорош. Это я понимаю, спидранер. Она пытается не стригерить еще кого-то. Ой, промахнулся. Ну блин, он так круто задоджил и в итоге промахнулся. Перехвалил, перехвалил.
Yeah, typically, if that NPC dies, you'll get a second sniper upstairs. On Nightmare, it's much more of a deal. It's like terror. If there's a guy potentially with a revolver waiting for you.
Вообще на новичке использовать абузы такие, тем более в лейтгейме, с постоянным там приседанием и вставанием, против кого-либо, кроме чужого, вообще я не вижу смысла. Возможно, есть какие-то моменты с синтами, возможно. Но точно не против людей. Люди тут расходный материал.
But we kind of just run past it. Right ahead, he's just speaking and being like, hey, what are you doing? We're just zooming past.
Switch on quick enough. Even in Nightmare, it's sort of a delay for his trigger there. And then here, in your casual playthrough, you'll often see these Joes with sort of white eyes. There's a guy just on my left here. I know, so he can actually grab me if I get too close, but it's actually just enough for past him.
We'll see a fair few more of those throughout the game. We'll only really run into 2 more that are notable.
Это заканчивать, это глубоко копать.
12 and 18, right?
Yeah. And so the one in Mission 12, we don't really have an option except to kill them. The one in 18, we kind of just maneuver around because the alien's more in play, and so it's difficult.
Налутались. Ой, полные карманы. Непонятно чего, правда. Ну, посмотрим как-нибудь, когда он откроет инвентарь.
Ricardo sort of goes through this monologue. He's the only one alive, by the way. You heard Waits getting choked out there just after the android grabbed me. He's the only guy who stays alive. He hid. So now, basically, they're going to team up Ripley and Ricardo and stay together for actually a major portion of the game.
The dream team.
Yeah. And try and find Samuels. Because remember, like I said, when we
Еще
were
осталось, кстати, пол-игры,
Samuels has gone off on his own little side mission to try and figure
судя по
out what's
таймеру.
happening.
Wow, you can make another pipe bomb. That's awesome.
I'm tempted to do cartwheel, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. Especially as it's a marathon. It's such a cool strat to showcase.
So we'll get into what that strat means in just a second. There should be a Joe on my left-hand side here, but if you're quick, he's not in grab range. Then here, this is like another like rat maze. It's very easy to get lost here.
Definitely.
All these shutters, some of them don't open. And there's actually like a whole sort of second cohort of androids here. And depending on the way they behave, I might have to kill multiple ones downstairs. There can be one on the stairs here, which is bad RNG. Was that a beep? Yeah, no.
No, you're good. It's by the sign.
Да, он он заходит в следующую локацию.
So if the Joe's on the stairs, it's very awkward to try and kill it. Because it loves to just kind
Ну,
of
в общем,
dart off to the side.
в нашем споте уже как-то небезопасно. Если раньше тут можно было нормально ходить, то тут уже вот видите какие-то, блин, микроволновки ходят непонятно.
That's a peak cancel, by the way. So typically,
oh yeah, you see it. He's got 2 sets of eyes.
Что?
God.
There's a flare on that guy too.
Что за визуальные баги? Что это такое?
Sometimes you can get ridiculous number of eyes.
Это странно
I would
выглядело.
show you
Окей.
more sort of shotgun mechanics, but we only pick up 4
Я не
shells
знаю,
here,
зачем
so
он
the
его
more
убил,
prudent way to show
честно
you sort
говоря.
of peak reload cancels will be in mission 14 in the reactor. So looking forward
Might
to doing
potentially
that.
be able to do some at the end of mission 12, depending on ammo.
If the ammo's good, yeah.
Yeah. But ammo starts to become.
And that's 12 done, by the way.
Yeah, done with mission 11 already, so.
Yeah, sorry, 11, yeah.
We've got mission 12 coming up, and this is the main mission in which we are trying to find Samuels. So.
Вот как раз мы сейчас по сюжету направляемся в башню.
That, oh god, the androids are not in a good way. Things are going horribly wrong. Let's actually try and solve that. So, with Samuel's going to android processing, we're trying to figure out what Apollo is up to. And Apollo is the main central computer here. And Apollo is the one that actually gives the instructions to the androids. And so we're trying to see if Samuels can actually interact with Apollo, ask some questions, figure out what's going on here. Why is this stuff happening? And so we're actually back in mission 5 again. So this is exactly the same. So the elevator just ahead is the elevator.
Там в этой локации вроде ничего не надо
будет.
Мы сразу, да, сразу на лифт сажаемся, садимся.
Definitely.
By the way, Josh, we haven't pinged you in a bit. Is there anything you would like to read out?
Yes, there is. Thank you. We have a $5 donation from Anonymous, who doesn't leave a comment, but they did put their $5 towards the outfit choice for the Near Replicant version 1 and a bunch of numbers, the New Game Plus one. They chose the Near Autonomous outfit, so that is now in the lead.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Head on over to
get in there early.
Yeah, donations.esamarathon.com, and you can have a look at all the available incentives. Do I have time for one more?
В общем, да. Вводим пароли, да. Вот эти, знаете, пароли наугад вводим, правильно. Бывает. Сейчас тут небольшая паркур-секция будет. Всякие эпичные моменты с падающими лифтами. Это вот все. Ну, все, что любят.
An experience to say the least, and Panda's there. What's up, Panda?
Вставлять в таких моментах.
Like we were saying earlier, some people like to sort of rave in M9 or play music. Panda, Chief, and
Вот вы видели в фильме хоть один раз лифт, который потом бы не упал? Задумайтесь.
Okay, so there is a trick here. It's kind of a tiny bit RNG, but we'll see if I can get it. Hopefully, please.
Nice.
So we call it the Super Amanda, where you skip these 2 prompts and Ripley just kind of flies into this vent. It's only like a 2-second time save.
The way it works is by interacting with the prompt twice.
Вообще тут такой левел немножко разгрузочный, скажем так. Тут ничего кроме беготни не будет.
Really useful thing. Not a huge time save, but
сейчас просто надо будет ходить.
So Here, like James was saying,
за генераторами.
So you can damage the Joe with anything. The flamethrower is just because we have lots of fuel. But you can do it with the pistol, the shotgun. You can actually just run down at the ground. As long as you're always looking at that Joe, he doesn't jump scare you. So you can sort of do this run over, look at him, 180, and then turn around. And then here, this is kind of where Ripley's line is where androids go to die. This is sort of Joe maintenance. So you see all these sort of, they're like they're being operated on almost. And you're going to see lots and lots of Joes in this mission. What makes this really, really scary and low percent actually is one grab, usually in Nightmare low percent, means that you're one hit away from death typically. You're going to do quick strats.
Двигатели надо запустить, или как это? Генератора.
Joe's chasing you. There's actually a room coming up where I'm going to run through
После чего пройти в саму башню. В общем, там что-то наподобие зала музея будет. Вообще момент тоже такой вот пряжный. Там будет стоять куча синтов, этих роботов, и они не будут шевелиться, но на самом деле они будут реально живыми. Ну, ладно, синты живые, окей. Они, в общем, на самом деле могут шевелиться.
That has the keycard is always the same, so I'm going to run sort of into the middle of these Joes as they wake up. And hopefully we get this guy flying through the air with the pipe bomb.
So there's a certain trigger that we need to run past this line. We then lob the pipe bomb. Guys.
The swan dive.
Взрываем, лутаем.
He always has the keycard, that Joe. So if I didn't put the keycard in this door, you'd run past. And in casual playthroughs, this is pretty much what happens every single time. The Joes break through the door very, very slowly. I think it's like 45 seconds or something.
A lot of time.
Yeah, we would have had to wait on the opposite side of that door, which wouldn't have been ideal.
So the game wants you to go into a side room there that contains lots of
это вообще-то, а я не знаю, разводное оно или нет.
Massive kind of combat sequence.
At the end of this mission. So yeah, like I said, this run is.
Там мультитул вообще крутой, конечно.
But the amount of just items we get to use in Novice is just really, really fun. What haven't we used yet? I think we used everything right except
everything except the EMP, which we will use later.
So just another example of why Novice is just so fun to pick up.
Definitely.
Cool, so this is the area, like James was saying, above Mission 7. Do you remember where I lured those two humans to the door with the pistol shots? This is the exit part.
Почитать, что дальше
ladder. That was where we did the ladder flex there and exited.
Вообще, это сейчас
so
как раз,
I didn't actually even see this in my casual playthrough, but there was this whole walkway up here.
Из 19.
And don't scroll the cart,
Caraxx. Yeah.
There's so because we rebind, like we said, used to the mouse wheel and a few other things. We also add a command called button mash to the mouse wheel, and I sort of like to live dangerously. I do one rivet of my mouse to skip that, but if I were to do two, the fact that it's button mash means that this cart on the left-hand side.
Я, кстати, забыл упомянуть один момент.
And blink to the opposite side, and Ripley will drop down and die.
Вы, не знаю, ничего об этом не говорили, видимо, тоже не заметили, что игра... На итальянском языке все говорят. Это просто быстрее, чем играть на английском. Просто диалоги некоторые идут быстрее. Там суммарно что-то это дает таймсейв что-то в полминуты. Но все равно, как бы полминуты просто из-за озвучки, это сильно.
One frustrating thing is those Joes can actually come through the door and get stuck on the other side.
Yeah, I bet you
there's kind of like an invisible wall, but sometimes they can get stuck in the invisible wall, which is very frustrating.
У меня что-то горло заболело.
Again, in 100%, that's actually beneficial.
Таких, блин, игр.
Finally, meeting up with Samuels.
Let's see if I can give him the love bonk.
Give him the bug.
It never happens. It never works. Oh. Also, don't shoot him there. So for some reason, the jack, when it hits him, it doesn't kill him. But I've seen people meme shoot Samuels there, and Samuels just goes flying. Screen goes black, and they've lost like 13 minutes.
Я что-то Трансав стало.
So here, Samuels is trying to interface with Apollo by going into this big old machine. He's trying to connect to Apollo and ask Apollo some questions.
Так, что тут вообще
It really
происходит?
does, yeah. Just
Я
the
вообще
cool
этого не
effects.
помню.
Oh, and here there's this kind of, great soundtrack. Look at all these visual effects going on with the electricity. But here, actually, all you have to do is you just go clockwise in the conduit order like that, and you're completely fine every time. However, if you do these conduits in the wrong order, Samuels will blow up inside this machine and die. And I'm going all the way back, so...
Yeah, we do not want to lose 11 minutes.
Не, Рипли сейчас 26 лет.
Before the hack either, so.
So one thing that was mentioned quite a while ago, but this game is very, very stingy with autosaves. And there are very few missions that actually have autosaves in the missions. The only real notable ones are Mission 10, and
even
I
then it's
believe
only once per section.
Ну вообще раннер неплохо
and
идет.
18 has the most.
Mission 14 also has 2. But outside of those, if you die in a mission without saving, you're right back to
It's
the start.
designed to be punishing, right? Like they don't want people to just
Возможно, возможно даже... Не, ПБ он 100% не поставит. А кто-нибудь вообще ставил на то, что он ПБ поставит?
From just blasting through it. However, we're trying to go fast, and so going fast is
Есть
our game.
такие
Playing dangerously is
счастливчики.
also the requirements for that.
Yeah, well, like what's the sketch? It's always starting out. So, anyways, I started blasting. That's pretty much a Novice NMG.
Yeah.
Just go.
And
so
here we have a very emotional scene with Samuels.
Нет, я тут вообще не помню, что сюжетно происходит.
no more.
Very
Плюс-минус...
and will not make it, which is a
Я
shame.
плюс-минус помню, что тут сейчас будет очень много синтов. Опять.
So here, actually, there's sort of interesting triggers. If you don't look at
Каких-то
Samuels after doing
особенностей,
these
что-то
three
не
conduits,
знаю.
I've seen people like new to the run. They sort of chill here and they're on the phone or talking to chat, and unless you look at Samuels, he won't come out of this machine and start dying. So it's one of those just interesting visual triggers. So here, if you look at Samuels, look at his corpse on the ground. When this dialogue finishes, he's actually going to sink into the floor slightly. There you go. That's the trigger that you can walk to this door. Otherwise, sometimes it doesn't cycle. Also, this door loves to troll you. If you stand right up against it, it doesn't open. So I'm going to stand.
It's very weird.
Yeah, a couple steps back here and pull out the shotgun. Hopefully stagger.
Ждем. Так, открыли.
Very common to get grabbed here.
Definitely.
Наконец-то.
So here is the epitome of you just blast everything. If there's a Joe in your way,
Ну
it gets
тут типа
blasted. If
проблемы
there's one that
нету
looks funny,
пройти.
it gets blasted.
У нас и дроп есть.
Right.
Да, кстати, вообще осталось 3
Very good joke
выстрела.
out in there. Sometimes you can have 4 or 5 up.
Just in case
Револьверы
somehow my
я не
finger
усмотрел.
slips.
5 плюс
It's
7
always
там
good
было.
to play it safe here.
Или сколько? Ну
Because
нормально.
This is,
Пойдет.
well, the second most
Мог и
time
не
that
из
it's
дробовика
possible to be
стрелять,
lost in the entire
кстати.
game.
Ну ладно.
With the only other one being later in mission 16, which
Oh, space.
is a much more common one to save at anyway. Nice.
So this is the prompt we were talking about. If you mouse wheel this, or even if you double tap E, you go flying down to the floor there. It's game over for Ripley.
Definitely.
So this dialogue here, this is plot related, it's important. So there's this kind of split
общем,
opinion on
дальше
Taylor, I guess, in AI, whether she just made like a
немножко
career
релакс.
move or if she like redeemed herself, but
Покатушки,
she's releasing
все
Marlowe,
дела.
and Marlowe basically just, his wife died, right? She was the one who brought the facehugger aboard, and his ship, the Anisadora, it's parked in remote orbit around the station here. So she's basically saying, if you tell me where the
Вот,
planet
мы
was,
сейчас,
all the information about the
нам
alien,
надо
I'll
будет
let you
вызвать
go.
лифт.
And she lets Marlowe go and things go south
Ну,
very,
не лифт, а
very quickly.
платформу
Keep it vague
опять.
for now, but it will culminate in mission 15.
И
So here we're making use
можно
of the
пока
room we
поблутать
mentioned earlier,
всякое
which is meant to be
на
used to deal with all of
локации.
these androids, which you can hear just absolutely making a racket against that door.
Yeah, like I said, it's spooky more than anything. It takes them about 45 seconds to get through. So if you're quick here with the others,
Blueprints
you're always fine.
подобрали.
You can see 'em. Also, trams have different triggers.
Все лутай,
When you hit the
все.
button for that tram,
Всё в
always,
карманы
when you run back to
сметай,
it, even if I were to
всё.
like wait here for 10 minutes, then go back, this tram would always seem like it's just arriving. So it's very important to hit this tram button, loot the loot room quickly,
Платформа очень
and then
долго
come back.
едет.
Because once you get a certain threshold away from the tram, it will sort of pause.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, well, you were talking about ammo. So you can fire the shotgun sort of like this and use the pump action, or you can intersperse with the peak like that and turn it sort of into machine guns. Very useful for super jumps.
Интересный, конечно, расход
It cancels a lot of
дроби.
the ending lag on the animation
Clutch in 17 as well.
is really, really useful.
Nice, and that is M12. I always go
M12, yeah.
+1 every time, yeah.
Going
M12.
into M13.
Yeah.
So mission 13, now that Samuel is dead, he mentioned that we are going to be able to talk to Apollo if we can get to Apollo. So, as we can see with the objective that's just been updated, gain direct access to the Apollo core. That is our current goal. We're trying to navigate our way.
We also meet a new type of enemy here.
Yes. So, it is the aptly named Super Joe, where it's a
the
Joe.
androids are called Walking Joes.
Yeah, it's essentially a Joe just wearing a coat or an anorak.
Тем временем.
But apparently that makes them invulnerable to all sort of electrical-related things. So EMPs, despite it not really making that much sense,
Приближаемся
EMPs have no
к
effect on
завершению игры
the stun
потихонечку.
baton, which we picked up all the way back in Mission 6, but have never used.
Забавная
It's
тема, то
also
что
ineffective. So it's
нужно выложить оружие,
a lot of extra protection against them. They're also much more tanky.
иначе тень просто не пускает.
Two perfect shotgun shots rather than one. Here we're crouching because it's an interesting mechanic known as pre-crouching. So whenever you need to enter.
Да тут обшивка на самолете, на космолете такая, что ничего не рикошетит. Это уже все продумано.
Whereas if you don't pre-crouch, it will normally pause you for a second or two. So the game's kind of like, okay, you're getting ready to actually go down into the crawl space.
Ну, сейчас будет опять беготня, просто беготня по маленьким коридорчикам.
There's lots of crouching in. I think there's a DLC called Crawl Space. So I do attack here, and yeah, people figured out that if you pre-crouch Ripley, you'll just slide very smoothly. It's really, really useful in the nest.
Definitely.
I'm not going to do it though. I'm going to go for nest boost just because we're on the marathon. It's a cool trick to go for. If it doesn't work, it'll be unfortunate, but there's a special setup, and we can use pre-crouching in many other spots. So not missing.
Обшивка не из пенопласта, а обшивка из
Most people don't go for N14 because it's quite risky. You basically have like maybe a tenth of a second.
Шумопоглощающего поролона для звукозаписывающих студий. Так у них там сейчас, наверное, ночь или кто там? 7 утра, да, наверное.
The super like double hugger boost or the single one. Both are really cool tricks.
Yeah.
There's a healthy dose of RNG in double huggers. You can die.
Or the single huggers or just regular hugger boost.
В общем, сейчас по сюжету мы спустились в ядро.
Let's make sure V-Sync is off.
Oh, yeah.
Точнее, не спустились, а еще спускаемся. Ну, по сути, мы уже в шахте находимся.
You'll be able to do a hugger boost. And this is where a face hugger will grab you from behind in a crawl space, and due to a weird arithmetic error, it will add the velocity of Ripley and the face hugger together, and you go zooming. It's fantastic.
It's good fun.
So one thing that we picked up there is the gas mask. It allows us to go into these green fogs. And what we did there was...
I want to go for the super glitchy one where Ripley can leave her mask on the entirety of this mission, just runs around like a Terminator. It's slightly too late there, but yeah, we still got the immunity.
But we got the mask in our hand, which you can see just in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And what this does is it prevents us from getting grabbed for 10 seconds. And so getting this grab immunity is really useful because one of the Super Joes can spawn in the corridor, and we have no weapons at this point, so we have no way of interrupting a grab. So gaining this 10 seconds of grab immunity is really useful.
Oh, despawn?
Oh, despawn?
If you,
unfortunate.
If you do the hack super quick, all the androids in the entire mission will despawn, or in this area.
So the game first places androids and then despawns androids because it wants to reset the positions of them after you do this hack. But if the positions happen to be on top of each other, then it's a weird coincidence where it will spawn two androids essentially directly on top of each other and then just remove everything.
Какие-то супер непоправимые мувы.
It's insane. They're meant to be the
И
rarest section of the
начнется
game.
тотальный хаос.
We never actually use them.
Followed closely by caps. So there's three. This is, I guess, our first encounter with minigames. Normally in a casual playthrough in Mission 4, you'll do 3 minigames to be able to talk to Samuels, but because we run so quickly.
Ну, не, пока еще нет. Пока еще
so there's 3 tiers of minigames.
Мы только
orange,
заходим
white,
в реактор,
and,
в ядро.
So green minigames are the absolute slowest usually. They're so bad, in fact, that in the speedrun we just queue out.
Пока что чисто на расслабончике. Отдыхаем вообще, не паримся. Чё, утро? Утром вообще не надо напрягаться.
It's really stressful in the reactor, but adds a lot of excitement to the run. So here we're right next to the end of the mission, so there is a safety save that's optional here, but this is Apollo that James was talking about.
And so there's a cutscene coming up here which we won't actually see, but it gives some very, very important information plot-wise. And to kind of summarize that, we ask Apollo,
анимации длиной в жизнь.
The alien. What's going on? And Apollo says, running scans. reactor scan not verified.
Yeah, scheduled reactor scans are unverified, something like that. By the way, though, if you caught a split second of that cutscene, they pretty much perfectly recreate Mother from the first Alien movie, so that's another really nice throwback attention to detail.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So we're going to find out what's wrong with the reactor shortly, and actually this is the very end of 13. So you see here, like some of these missions, you can get stuck in them for ages in casual playthroughs, but knowing where to go is such a massive tool.
Мы попали, получается, в ядро реактора.
Not even.
Только,
So here I'm going to hotkey items. Sorry.
как бы вам сказать?
This is the start of mission 14.
Не знаю, вам спойлерить? Или вы досмотрите пару минут?
It's mad. And so, initially, we are still trying to get to the reactor, so we are still in working Joe territory.
Вообще сейчас будут
there's a lot of stuff which
уже поинтереснее моменты. Можете заметить бомбу в руках у Рипли.
Final upgrade for the gas torch, which means that cutting those panels is no longer torturously slow.
Некие раскидочки.
Lovely and quick.
That one in mission 8, where we were worried about the android grabbing us, it is incredibly slow.
It takes almost 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And the cutting time is reduced to about maybe 10 at most. So having a 4 times faster gas torch is really quite nice.
It will come in very useful in 15.
Definitely.
So here the Joe does follow me. He'll not actually make his way over to me until I'm on this panel, because obviously our running speed is quicker than his walking speed. And this is like kind of another instance where the Joe's punching you on cooldown to try and grab you when you're not on an interface. So when I grab this prompt, the Joe will snap and grab me. Sometimes the timing of the Joe's sort of punch cycles can line up perfectly just before you get the prompt, and you just get snapped into a grab.
It's incredibly rare. Because the Joe needs to be within a 2-frame window.
Что он даже нас не бьет?
275 FPS. That's such a minuscule gap that it's just.
И смотрю, вроде ХП вообще не убавляется.
He really does.
So here there is a very, very
rare
potential game crash. So I'm just going to play. Basically, there's an EMP that we're
В общем, бомба была не для него.
It acts just like the stun baton. It basically releases this another stun baton charge.
Бомба нужна
another
в этом
electrical impulse
зале.
that will shock Joes, which lets you beat them to death. We're actually not even going to bother killing the Joe.
Пока не
Just
видно.
run past him. But here,
Где
hello.
он?
And have a little rave over there, buddy. Joy sort of just does this sort of conga. Or
Хорошо.
yeah, something like that.
That is interestingly the only time we actually use.
Ну как хорошо? Тут типа все плюс-минус стабильно работает. Ты просто себе под ноги кидаешь ими гранату. И
which means that it's really good for making noise in a specific location.
Все nice.
Yeah.
Because if we line up an accurate throw, we can get a very detailed bit of noise. Something that is.
Я смотрю на чате, в чате есть люди удивляются, что в игре 275 FPS. Вообще, 275 FPS это новая мета какая-то. То есть некоторые кат-сцены быстрее идут в 275 FPS. До этого хватало 140. 120-140 как бы пойдет.
It's like a nice little quality of life, time save. So here's, I'm going to take my first save. This is just like in mission 10.
Вообще это, конечно, я не знаю, это какая-то вообще неприятная тема, то что люди просто за счет хорошего железа выигрывают по времени, потому что просто у них много FPS, игра работает быстрее. Это, конечно, какой-то pay to win, как будто бы, ну ладно. И включаем электричество, ну, вот об этом я и говорил. То есть, если начало чужого изоляции было какое-то плюс-минус интересное, сейчас то, что мы делаем, это ходим тудым-сюдым и нажимаем кнопки. Ну, это вообще геймплей уровня Outlast реально. Что это? Подобрали, ладно, хоть подобрали новую пушку.
The bolt gun is one of the strongest weapons against working Joes. However, it does have one major downside for speed.
Slow AF.
It has a monumental charge time of about 6 to 7 seconds. Even though we are seeing the prompt of call elevator, don't worry, the elevator did get called. It's just a visual bug.
It's one of those fun little things.
Это просто я говорю про то, что это нечестно по отношению ко всем игрокам.
But basically, we're going to the reactor now. You're going to see it in 30 or something seconds. Super Joes everywhere. Remember, we gave our guns away, so in mission 13 we had no resources, but here we get them back. We don't have our flamethrower. We're going to get that back a little bit later, but we sort of re-up our shotgun ammo and revolver, and then we come into this sort of big expansive area here, which is the reactor.
It's such a cool area.
Yeah, it's really. I'm actually going to heal here.
Yeah.
Надо на самом деле посмотреть, сколько мне FPS дает Alien Isolation. Я хотел поранить ее, но у меня стабильно 90 было только FPS на старом компе. Надо сейчас посмотреть.
So, yeah, the bolt gun dispatches Super Joes with ease, but like James said, it has a very long charge time. Here it says descend to the base of the reactor. Here I'm going to turn my flashlight on just
Легендарная арена.
Switches on to me. These guys grab a little bit quicker than regular Joes, especially on Nightmare.
Надеюсь,
like I said, we have the 10
у раннера есть гранаты.
Run past this section. Often in casual playthroughs,
Или
people
тут
would
не
just
юзают
spend
на этой
ages
сложности
killing all these
гранаты.
Joes one by one, and actually makes no difference.
Because they all respawn in the next section.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate to use all those resources.
So about that big plot reveal.
В общем, Рипли, увидев вот этот улей, это также называется улей, да? Решает его вообще сжечь. Но забегая вперед, все пойдет опять не по плану. Кто бы мог подумать. То есть тут уже все в какой-то вот этой биомассе, вот, так сказать, лароведы чужиков. Скажите мне, пожалуйста, откуда эта биомасса вообще берется? Ну вот откуда? В таком количестве, ну посмотрите, тут их тонны. Да это сколько поливать нужно. Так, спугнули чужика. Вообще видел раскрытое яйцо, но я не помню, где тут фейсхаггеры.
This is that sort of slightly harder variation of the M18 single boost. There's a hugger that's going to run at me. I fire that revolver shot to bring down two Steves behind me. And here, it's RNG whether he goes for this.
Ой-ой-ой-ой! Ой, как... Ой-ой! Страшно! Что это? Блин! Вот ваш фейсхаггер. Фейсхаггеры это прям реально страшная вещь.
There is a scripted Steve waiting for me on the other side of this section, so I'm actually going to let him progress.
Если не попадешь по фейсхаггеру, то все, считай. Считай минус ран. Тут ладно, тут все окей, типа по сложности, по ресурсам вообще все окей. На сложности, допустим, кошмар, там такие стратки в этом улье происходят, это просто жесть. Там, чтобы пройти локацию, нужно одной пулей убить сразу двух фейсхаггеров. Ну это вообще жесть.
Here there's a facehugger. Facehugger corpses, excuse me, actually block you. But if you kill the hugger just as you crest that hill, you can pass right through. I'm also going to dodge the so-called vent of death here.
Ну здесь больше фейсхаггеров тут не
This one
будет.
is very surreptitious vent, very easy to miss. Steve loves to trap in that one.
We're listening carefully here in case there's a drop, because the alien can charge and kill you in the elevator even after you press the button.
So
no
drop, I was planning on talking about finishing later on, but you can do something where you hold out the flamethrower and Steve will sort of rear his hands up and stay still for 5 seconds, which lets you sort of put distance between you and him. So I think here it's just fun to showcase.
Так это чужие думали такие, так вот придет Рипли, будет нажимать рычаги по сюжету, а если мы заплетем харчу свою вокруг рычага, то ничего не получится, и тогда сюжет не пойдет. Не, ну, 2 выстрела тратить. Что-то... Ну, вообще, короче, я понял. Сложность казуальная. Тут без раскидок, вообще без всего, походу, играют. Я в шоке.
This green minigame is exceptionally bad because the androids can come out of grab immunity and can grab you as soon as you come off of it.
Но я видел ран на Nightmare. То есть я видел ран на Nightmare, я видел немного ран на вот этой сложности. Novice. Тут, конечно, да, попроще все.
Nice. Only 2 greens. It's not the worst.
Yeah, by the way, Josh, if
you want to, он мог типа просто в лицо выстрелить с шотгана с одного выстрела, но я предполагаю, что вообще наплевать на патроны для дробовика. Ну, у него в револьвере 17 пуль, ну это вообще... Он может 17 раз сбить станок. Ой, станок, граб-атаку. Только синтов-то до конца игры больше не будет. Наверное.
And goats are the goat when it comes to providing help in developing areas. Goats provide nutrition for growing children, and the baby goats can be sold to provide essentials such as paying for school and medicine where needed. So, if you donate the price of a AAA video game, you can really make a difference in some needy children's lives out there.
Yeah, so, that's awesome. I knew it was.
Это было странно, конечно, как он смотрел на него. Ну, окей.
Yeah, if you head on over to the Save the Children website, they have a list of all the things that, like, even small amounts of money can get. Such as, I'm setting myself up for a segue I haven't prepared for, such as $5 can provide education supplies for children fleeing compact zones, giving them the tools they need to continue their education. All sorts of stuff like that. So get your donations, too early for this. Get your donations in, no matter how big or small, and we can help save the kids in a really good cause. Thank you.
Запускаем, так сказать, сжигание улья. Типа. Но... Оказывается, что ядро нестабильно работает. Круто, да? Ой-ой-ой, уже 2 чужих.
The nest has, I don't know if you're paying attention to the screen there, but there were definitely aliens an inch from our face. The nest purge override kind of backfired. We didn't fully get it all, and we kind of created escape routes for the aliens. So now the aliens are all aboard the station. They are everywhere. So there's
вообще Рипли типа своими мувами спровоцирует падение этого Настрома на этот. На станцию, по сути. Типа ядро не сможет держать позицию свою в невесомости, оно просто будет притягиваться гравитацией к станции. В итоге оно поломает станцию, а станция тоже не сможет держать типа свою позицию и будет притягиваться к планете. Вы осознаете масштабы этого? Ну, вы поняли.
The last sort of opportunity to heal is technically at mission 17. But really, seeing as it's Novice, should be able to just push through.
The only time you'll really take damage is in mission 16, because especially when dealing with the alien,
Да вот,
which is
да не знаю, что
predominantly
там,
the rest of the game now,
что там за
you either get
энергия
one
у
shot
ядра.
or you don't. And so health is not
Не
terribly
ясно.
important. That being said, I will be the evil voice in your head saying make smoke bombs. You don't need them, but we can do a fun thing with them.
There's quite a funny strat at the
А
end
вообще
of the
писали
game that
по-русски,
we were
ну,
going over. I haven't done it that much, but
ну да.
essentially subvert the laws of physics.
You can do it in mission 16 too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so you may be able to shake it twice.
Okay, alright, we'll see if
Как
we
бы
can.
тут и происходит весь
Yeah,
замес.
we'll keep that nice and vague for now. So when the dialogue starts, we're sort of arriving into the maps. I'm going to smack the jack a few times. That basically, that direct AI that we talked about before, is going to delay. It doesn't always work, but it's going to make Steve think we're outside the map and not drop for a period of time.
Солярия.
It does, however, if he doesn't go for it, there is an element.
Ничего
of
себе.
found.
Не, ну тогда чужиков не только получится сжечь, но и
I
подкоптить.
have to be very, very ready to sort of snap out this animation.
Как-то
Cancel
так
it, find
получается.
So we're listening quite carefully for a beep here. That indicates that the alien has come in range again. The fact that we haven't heard it now means we are almost certainly good.
Yep. So, and then that sort of Marlowe
We hear
Taylor
the
arc.
alien bumbling around the vents. We should be able to get to the elevator in time though.
We have the flinch in our back pocket. If we
Я
need
на
to.
самом деле не
That
помню
Marlowe
звуков.
Taylor side plot that's going to come to fruition in this
Трещание
mission.
вот
He's been
этого.
released. He's got the ship that's sort of swinging around the station in orbit. They're
Так,
aboard it now.
мы
They've taken
нас
the shuttle, and we're
пустили
sort of following them.
на
And here
15-ю
this is like
миссию.
another kind of just roll with the
Осталось,
punches, bit of noise. There's
получается,
RNG here.
15, 16,
Steve
17,
makes an
18
appearance
и
in medical, but sometimes you don't see
19.
him till the very end of the
5 миссий осталось.
So right now, excuse me, I'm craning
Ну
my ears.
вообще,
Steve typically makes an appearance sort of from the next.
ну
sort of 10
вообще-то,
seconds. Super Joe.
So we haven't heard
пейс
the beep, which is
неплохой,
really
я
fortunate.
вам скажу.
This is one of those areas where, if you remember way back,
Пока что
I
это
mentioned
выглядит
about
как
the different
два,
states of the alien's AI. The alien is actually passive here. So
не
if
знаю,
you do get the
2.45.
alien to drop on you, or if you don't make enough noise, then the alien will never actually drop. So, if possible, it's really nice in this mission to just never, ever even get the alien down, because then he'll never drop on you.
Yeah.
However, if you do get him to drop, which, well, when we're trying to go fast, it's quite useful, it means that
When
you
in doubt,
will likely
track
have to
it.
deal with him here.
Oops. Oh, V3 hacks, by the way, are notoriously tiny.
So we
So
just
the-
picked up a hack tool upgrade, and
Yeah.
these hacks are hard to
Yeah.
find. You really only have like a couple of pixels to actually hit.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
very brutal.
half or a third of that first hack in Mission 3, the V1. Okay, so we've basically commandeered a shuttle.
Как
Ricardo's still alive,
полагаю,
but
мы сейчас
because we're going
пытаемся
quite
что-то
far distance-wise, we're actually
починить,
going to lose comms with Ricardo.
типа
We're just gonna be
подсейвиться как.
hunting aboard the station for Marlowe and Taylor to see if they'll rescue people, see if we can rescue Taylor. We don't know if Taylor's being held against her will or if she's cooperating. Then here we sort of begin the sequence, and my least favorite hugger in the entire game lives aboard this station. So we'll be taking a slightly
И
safer strat to kill him, or I can save him and
возвращаемся,
showcase
в
a few
общем.
of the different ways we kill him. But yeah, in this game, cardboard boxes act like Kevlar, so you can actually pipe bomb a hugger that's in
На
a box and it
станцию,
won't
да.
die. And the hugger on the ship, he sort of comes out of this stack of sort of 20 boxes or something.
He's heavily armored in cardboard
Indeed,
boxes.
yeah, he's packing.
Cardboard boxes are also flameproof.
Ricardo,
so you can
кстати.
use the flamethrower, the Molotov, the bolt gun.
Yeah.
It's impossible to breach them. They
Alien
are
Isolation, sponsored by FedEx.
absurd.
Внутри, да,
Now, if only these packages
она не
arrived
должно
in
хорошо
boxes.
выглядеть снаружи.
So here, no comms as yet. If you were paying attention to the dialogue there, we just lost comms with Ricardo. And here it's used down. By the way,
не,
I've been entering lots of
мы-
key codes. There aren't that many.
Ой,
There's
капец,
nine.
вот начинается сейчас путешествие по станции, мы попали на Ансидору,
100% use two
ё-моё.
extra, but
It's really it's not that bad once you.
it's not bad to memorize them. Well, if you ask me to actually recite all of them, I might not be
В
able
общем,
to.
все,
It comes from muscle
что
memory then.
It really
сейчас
does,
Рипли
you just kind
пытается
of know,
вообще
mission 15,
сделать,
that's 4-5-1-0,
это просто свалить уже.
17, for example,
То есть ей
51 and 1984. So it does
просто
very much depend.
выжить, плюс
Even if you just
выжить,
blank
плюс
the key
свалить.
code, once you actually get to
Yeah.
the input, you're just like, oh, this number.
Угадайте,
What would you say is the
пойдет ли
scariest
все по
key code
плану.
because of what's at stake? I would say 185.
На самоуничтожение.
Yeah, 1851's scary.
Whoops.
Ну,
The hardest one, in my opinion, is 4930.
умный мув.
Oh yeah, the
Because
finger placement on the
It's
numpad.
really awkward on the number pad, and I do it on the keys at the top of the keyboard
James, same as me.
because I'm a bit weird, but it's really awkward to do there as well.
I actually think we're the only two that do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, use numpad, guys. It's way more efficient.
Yeah. Don't follow our example.
So here, just in case there are any hugger shenanigans, there's a safety save that I can take. It's about 8 or 9 seconds in terms of routing. So we're actually supposed to
Вообще
go
вот
to the left.
можно проследить, так сказать, масштабы
It's not worth
планов
accidentally risking a death here.
главного персонажа. Сначала мы просто хотели вернуться на Настрома. Ой, Настром, на свою эту. Я даже не помню, как она называется. На свой корабль. Ой, фульхагер под ногами прям. Потом мы встретили чужого и захотели его выкинуть в открытый космос. Потом мы пытаемся сжечь улей. Сейчас мы, блин, что мы делаем? Просто взрываем челнок. Класс. Спасибо. Зачем? Ладно, я могу вам сказать, зачем. Вы готовы? А что если миссия, на которую мы приехали, наш персонаж, она тоже подстроена Вейландом? Вы не задумывались? А вот так вот. По сути, те, кто ее взяли с собой, Рипли, они все тоже знали. И у них была миссия с доставкой с Севастополя чужого. Поэтому тут такой вот, да, конфликт назрел. Видите, немножко там реактор что-то взрывается, и люди тоже внутри что-то хотят тоже взорваться. Ну, это их выбор. В кавычках нет. В общем, все кругом предатели.
Guys, we've got a bit of time here. Are there any donations or any plugs that
would
be good?
Yes, there are.
Fantastic.
We have a $10 donation from Mary X, who just says...
В космосе, да, есть два столпа. Чужие и Вейланд. Один гоняется за другим, другой гоняется за один.
Thank you, Caraxx and James, for an awesome run with amazing commentary as always. Love you guys.
Thank you so much, Chelsea.
And then we got a couple goat donations. We got $60 from Rabid Panda again.
Wow, nice.
It says goats for kids. And then we got another $60 from Toma Itach. Toma One Touch. I can't.
Можно ли сказать, что
вот
миссия, где мы разбиваем яйца чужих, это пас?
Thank you all for the donations. Yeah, that's literally 2.5 goats we just got for people.
That is incredible.
Thank you.
So by the way, so Taylor sort of snuck behind Marlow there and dispatched him with the jack, so he's unconscious on the floor. But it's too late. The reactor is too warm, too hot, or it's triggered the chain reaction. So we're attempting to cool it down
сюжетом чужого. Вообще оригинальный чужой должен был заканчиваться вообще как-то сюрреалистично. То есть чужой это был робот. Он типа должен был убить Рипли, ну, Эллен Рипли, в первом фильме. Достать рацию что-то из руки и сказать: цель устранена. Там что-то вообще жесть какая-то должна быть. Уже что, блин, этому не дали доснять. Не дали концовку такую сделать.
where you have to unbind shift and only walk through the game, which both James and I have run. And you can actually walk out this entire sequence. No, it says escape and capital letters and run. You can actually just walk like a tank out of this mission.
It's very fun.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Cool guys look at all of the explosions.
А Эллен сейчас она где-то там летает. Ее же нашли только спустя, получается, 14 лет после игры. Так?
Walking in this game is really safe. Like, normally when the alien is actually in the vent, if you're walking, you don't make enough noise ever to get the alien to drop.
Ой, тут...
And so, just by
Вот
walking,
как можно выжить после падения с такой высоты? Я не понимаю. Ну ладно.
Then you'll never have the alien drop in a lot of those places. And you just kind of saunter through. So if you're trying to play this game casually or you got stuck
Все, что нам нужно, это
one of the best
на челнок сесть и
if
улететь.
you know vaguely where you need to go, just walk there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's fast enough so that you can get out of the range of the alien.
Lockers are honestly the
Проблема в том, что корабль по итогу упадет на станцию. Классно.
That is 15 over and done with. So
82 года. Во. Я почти угадал. Я сказал 80. Жесть.
Bonus of what's just happened. So if you pay attention to the dialogue here, you'll see that the power surge from the, I guess, the EMP of the Anisadora explosion. I hate this hack. Reset all the comm systems. So we have a chance to contact the lane, the person at the beginning in mission 1. And sort of this whole mission is about re-establishing contact, and it results in a very, very pretty spacewalk. Visually, like it's one of the bits where the game really pays dividends.
Это сейчас лор чужого или реальной жизни рассказывается? Я уже не понимаю. Я уже вообще ничего не понимаю.
So here in this section, we don't actually have to deal with the alien, which is nice. Instead, we have a lot of humans to deal with. And so
тут синты некоторых вот... А, вот. Жжём.
So even though I mentioned it miles
а некоторых не жжём.
Revolvers do much more damage than shotguns. So shotguns in this game are kind of like pea shooters. They really don't do much at all. So we just
вообще вот тут чуть дальше должен чужик жестко триггериться. Тут будет один из сложнейших манипуляций с чужим, но, честно говоря, не знаю, как это выглядит на самой простой сложности. Пистолеты для разборок. Да.
Chase, catch my noise trail, because if you run on Novice, you can actually just run out that section. Steve will upbend and he'll often be in your way for the exit. But if I combine a revolver shot with
пистолеты подешевели, теперь его можно в каждый дом купить.
Right before I started running up the stairs, and I'm gonna run past him. Steve's gonna run past him. He's gonna kill that human. Hopefully, if the strat works, leave my exit clear. Also, we get to molly some NPCs here.
Так, что-то крафт Молотова пошел.
Molotovs, but it's good to have one in reserve just for 17 and 18.
No smoke bomb crafting here. No.
Oh, we're gonna use the flare.
Oh, nice.
Плееров 6, Молотов. Молотов сейчас, видимо, будет стратки против чужого. Сейчас посмотрим.
You can do the rest of the game with no flares from this point. Here we're going to try and kill all of the humans with a single Molotov.
The important thing is it hits the revolver go, excuse me.
Definitely.
You reckon we should showcase or try go for the flare strat here or in 18?
Both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah. Have some fun with it.
We'll do it. Cancel animations with a variety of things, and actually the act of throwing something before you pull a spacesuit handle theoretically sometimes lets you take that item, if you have more of it, out onto the spacesuit. So you can take like Molotovs out in space.
Скип лестницы вроде бы. Вроде она скипает. Да, ну она не полностью скипается.
So you've got 3 minigames here, all of which are surprisingly slow. There's no way of speeding them up. You just have to wait.
Ну как же балдежно вот эти все интерфейсы выглядят.
These ones you really
don't want to fail
because it restarts right from the beginning, losing you about 15 seconds.
If I failed it was just for demonstration.
Now you've got done. Now you've got one more of those. But there is actually a reason for this. So if you quickly look at the other screen, we can see that it's given us one of 2 coordinates that we need. So this has given us a number 35. And so what we're trying to do here is using this observatory tower, we're trying to locate the Torrens so we can actually communicate with
Там все,
Verlaine
короче,
again.
пристыковать.
We're hoping that Verlaine will actually be able to give us a way off of this burning ship that is slowly starting to
Корабль,
disintegrate.
чтобы улететь отсюда уже, наконец-то. Но,
It's falling out of the
да.
sky very slowly into the gas giant earlier. Nice. Good. There is a potential
Будет,
soft
что
lock here if you
будет.
sort of, I'd recommend if you are thinking about the run, or if you or someone who's learning, because we have quite a few people learning Novice NMG at the moment. You get to this mission, don't raid your menu and switch your weapons, because there's like a very rare soft lock where
вот,
your camera just
Torrens.
locks forwards here.
Сколько названий этих космолетов, блин. Torrens.
By the way, if we have any more plugs or donations, feel free to read them out.
Excellent. In that case, I have a pretty special one. This one's pretty good. From Imber King, we have $120.
Wow. That's
which is wasn't sure. They say it wasn't sure how much I wanted to donate.
Вообще эстетика
seems like a pretty good deal.
чужих.
Love the good work.
Goat Squad.
That is fantastic.
And they put
Такое вот будущее, вот такое будущее, как стимпанк, только будущее. Не знаю, как это объяснить.
That's fantastic.
It's going to be as good
Непонятный
after
сеттинг,
iToy
короче,
Play,
какой-то.
which is in 3 runs time. So we need like well, I'm setting myself up for a segue I haven't prepared for again.
Вот представьте себе, что вы живете на 1000 лет вперед, а потом представьте, что вы вот увидели стимпанк, а потом с этим созданием вернитесь в 2022 год. Вот, и это будет сеттинг чужого.
There's a weird glitch there where if you interact with the prompt just as an item is leaving your hand, it weirdly lets you take it out.
Yeah, if you have more in reserve.
Yeah. So
I've never done it. I've never practiced it there. So
you can do it with everything except for a pipe bomb, because a pipe bomb just instantly.
Сейчас балдежные похождения снаружи, без чужих, без, блин, людей, без вот этих синтов. Просто побалдеть.
I'm not running at a particularly high res just for FPS, but you play this in ultra, it's like such a visually stunning.
Наконец-то нас никто не будет там хватать, вот это вот все делать. Больно нам.
You actually see the alien clambering around the outside of the station in space before the bit where he drops down to spook you at this next bit.
That's a very, very fun thing you can do. If you manage to bring a Molotov onto the spacewalk, where you can throw a Molotov at that alien and hit it. It doesn't do anything, but you do get to hear the hiss.
Sends a message.
Yeah. But this is... Spacewalk is much more relaxed and
да.
well-paced than Mission 9. So one major advantage of this
Так и
section is
никто
there
не
is no
говорит,
RNG
что
panel, so you don't
станции
have to worry
не
about humans,
похожи.
NPCs. It's much
Они,
more
в
chill.
принципе,
And while a potentially controversial
имеют,
statement within
наверное,
the
даже
community,
какие-то
I think
прототипы
Spacewalk is a bit
реально.
less than Mission
Easily.
9.
Я думаю.
I don't get the whole. We'd grievously offend some people. That's probably if we said that more often. So, but yeah, it's honestly visually really pretty. It's kind of there's a lull in the run before the next missions, which are kind of fast-paced.
Yeah, it's a very
missions,
well-placed mission, because we've just had the absolute chaos of Mission 14, going through the reactor, the
Как же он
nest.
ходит.
We've just had the whole of the Anisadora explode, and now it gives us a
Ну,
time.
мне кажется,
But that's not
я
going to be
проснусь,
lasting
охрипну.
long, that's for sure, because we have Mission 17 coming up, and Mission 17 is far and away the most scary mission in the game.
Yeah, remember how I said that you'd see sort of the alien progressively more and more? There are bits in 17 where you see the alien sort of 10 seconds into 10 seconds into 10 seconds later, because there are multiple ones and there are lots of scripted events. So in 17 there are quite a few scripted drops. So you'll deal with an alien, get another scripted interaction with the alien. He'll, obviously if you don't deal with him, he'll kill you. And 17
честно говоря, я уже не уверен насчет эстимейта, что у него уложится.
Vents overhead, and it makes sort of running at pace even more scary almost.
It also is the first section of the game where you don't really have any way of just keeping on moving and running away from the alien. You're very much forced to engage with the alien, and it can lead to some terrifying encounters. And so we will hope to keep the alien on pattern, so that we know roughly what to expect. And if it goes off pattern, things get terrifying.
There is a really cool, so when labbing out all missions Nightmare NMG, we found, well I found and Mikhail, a really cool strat with the shotgun, which I am going to go for. There's a save sort of conveniently placed quite close by, but if I'm going to die anywhere in this run, it's probably
Там что-то 2 минут не хватает до оверэстимейта, судя по всему. 2-3 минут, но он не сможет столько ноузать сейчас.
Yeah, the hitbox is very, very tiny. Basically, there's some triggers that the game doesn't want you to be spooked because there's a scripted event coming up with an alien that's supposed to jump scare you. So if you put enough distance between you and a chasing alien, the chasing alien will upvent, and there's a very quick and expedient way that involves shotgunning Steve.
Это Alien Isolation, если что. Если кто-то еще не понял, это игра про чужого.
James was talking about earlier, the 35 and the 75. We input them here. It's actually just really chill. People sort of sweat this in casual playthroughs. You just hold down D and roll your mouse wheel. And then Verlaine, who's we've seen neither hide nor whisker from, sort of just gets a bunch of information dumped on her, and her reaction is just like, what? There's what on board?
Yeah.
Когда мне уже
So this is really the last time
снимут
where we
бан в чате?
have a lot of friends
Я
keep us
хотел
company because
крипипасту
things are just
кинуть.
starting
Ой.
to go chaotic on the station. Everyone's getting ripped apart by aliens. Verlaine is our last real hope to escape.
And she's been broadcasting to everyone, so all those security guards, like all the
А
hostages,
кто
they
сказал,
are
что
on
Рипли не
the
чужой?
So it's kind of like a race of sorts.
So if you,
Ну
if you kind
вообще,
of look
судя
around at the
по
start of
мотивам
16,
всех
you'll hear a lot of the guards say things like,
синтов, там, людей и прочего,
yeah, because they
она
know that
тут
the
вообще
station's
самая
falling, and
чужая.
there isn't long. And so we are hoping to maintain a connection with Verlaine here, try and contact, and then hopefully try and escape.
See the ditch
А
moving.
вот, а вы думали, что значит название этой игры? Чужой изоляция. В смысле? Что это значит? А вот теперь поняли?
A little bit more of spacewalk here just before we start getting back into chaos.
Yeah.
Because we can't have too much of a nice time here. Things have to go and just be absurd.
Chaos is a very apt description. There's so many different ways Steve can behave in 17. I'm gonna have to.
Да они чужие по сути, а она чужой по фактам. Не знаю.
By the way, we have lots of chill time left, so if we have any more plugs?
Yeah, we have a quick little donation we can do. We got a $10 donation from Mary X again, who says 4930 is the best key code in the game. It changed my mind.
Nice. That's 1/6 of a goat right there. Thank you very much.
That is.
I hope it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, this is our unit of measurement now. Is it?
Thank you, Caraxx, the $10.
Yeah, 493.
Да.
Notoriously difficult key code.
Yeah, you're wrong, but thanks to the I hate that key code.
What is your favorite key code?
В общем,
Probably 2505.
2505 is
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, one of the
Рипли
few
не дает, видимо, покоя.
1702.
Really?
Yeah.
Чужие.
I'm forced to do it a lot.
Ну вообще, там не только это, не только, так сказать, ее героические там помыслы, просто по сути она сейчас находится в таком положении, что ее все кинули, даже ее тиммейты, так сказать, капитан корабля, который ее привез, вот эти все ее друзья, они типа кинули ее, они привели ее на убой, грубо говоря.
Saw the very tip of Steve's tail there as he went into the vent. Sorry, I should have pointed that earlier, but the eagle-eyed of you would have spotted it. He's basically clambering around above our head, and he's going to drop in this room to our left. So here you can
Конечно,
your bottom dollar. I'm going to be safety safe.
хочется, так сказать, чтобы вот этого всего не было, чтобы чужие никуда не попали.
Yeah, if you die here, you do lose almost 15 minutes, which is brutal.
Double check.
Как-то так.
Yeah, this is the one place you really want to save. But we are now approaching the last real stretch of the game, where things just start to go mad.
Double check my hotkeys here.
Nice.
Вот насчет планеты я не знаю, но это 100% какой-то газовый гигант, но я не знаю, что это и конкретно.
We're currently in a locked room which the alien cannot get to. So by making loads of noise, the alien will want to get to us, but recognizes that it cannot get to us
Юпитер
from our
разве?
current location. So it is assuming if it goes into the vents, then it must be able to get to us.
А, нет, это Valiant vs Predator втором. Там был какая-то странная планета.
We did that in mission 15 as well at the very beginning, where we were
Или
whacking
нет?
inside of the tram. And it's a really useful thing. It's fortunate that Steve didn't go after that shotgun human there. Instead, he just went straight up. Sometimes he'll wander off and kill them, which is a bit slower because then we have to deal with Steve.
So here, there's I guess like a second instance of Steve spawning. So on my left here, you'll see his
Нет, я не знаю, кстати, на самом
hear
деле.
the alien clambering the vents there. I don't know if you heard that. And that alien will come out behind me now as I turn to the right. And that's what that flashbang on the floor was. This strat doesn't always take. The idea is I shoot the revolver shot here. See that hiss means that he's turned. Normally he wouldn't. And hopefully we hear the flashbang go off in a few seconds. Excellent. And then this guy sort of is in the way, and he'll continue down following the noise trail, and he'll kill that guy. Very, very clutch in Nightmare NMG, but very, very useful on Novice too. And Steve loves to sort of be on the opposite side of this door in a few seconds.
А что такое, что есть LV-426?
Having these gunshots is
Я
actually a
вообще
very
не
good thing,
понимаю, что
as
это.
it gives the alien a target rather than us. So we can hear the alien actually killing the humans here.
А есть
the alien not killing us.
фотографии с этой
And he went for the second human.
планеты?
Oh, very good reaction there.
He didn't flinch, so I had to go for the action fire.
Не, это нет, это
Sometimes
не
Novice
то.
Steve reacts in a delayed manner to fire. Nightmare Steve would have flinched there instantly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to save some fuel, but we're fine. Plenty of fuel.
Plenty, yeah. So we are coming into easily one of the scariest parts of the run. So one of the first things that we'll be doing here is killing a human. This human is really, really.
Если интересно, можете типа посмотреть, как выглядит главное меню в игре. Там же эта планета нарисована. Ну, не нарисована, а там, так сказать, 3D анимация происходит этой планеты.
Just about afford to run to this terminal.
Yeah, he sort of pulled over to where that human died slightly.
Definitely.
But then after I come off this PC, I'm going to hear.
Выглядит как Юпитер. Ну, на самом деле, наверное, почти любой газовый гигант выглядит как Юпитер.
Because there's no power, we're putting an EMP right over to the door, so that the alien will try and go to a very specific spot. When we restore power, if there is an NPC outside
У разработчиков Alien Isolation нет денег на вторую часть. Вы думаете, у них есть деньги поместить в меню своей игры настоящую планету?
If the door gets locked, you'll have to use a handle to open it, and
Там тем временем жесткие абузы, сейчас еще пару фаеров надо раскидать, вроде бы как. Пока ждем пока приедет вагонетка. Давай, фаеры, флееры.
Here is probably one of our few locations before we really get into like a huge section of just being able to go power through.
Ну пока что он АФК.
Okay, lovely. I'll do these quickly. We got a $25 donation from Jay, who just says love heart, and they put it towards the Smarties meltdown. And then we got another $120 donation from California, who says for the two wonderful boats.
Куда он идет?
Great cause. Yeah, thank you a lot.
Куда он идет? Вообще не должен сюда идти. Ну окей, тут типа два фаера по сетапу супер сейвово должно быть. Там еще у него сколько осталось фаеров? Еще миллион. Капец. Налутал, блин. У меня вообще тут фаеры впритык должны быть. А у него еще штуки 3, наверное, осталось. Окей. Прогнали чужика.
Some runners they save in that first section, but here I'm going to delay my first save till here. It's good, honestly. I would recommend what I normally say to new runners is save at least 3 times in this mission casually.
Ой, неприятный момент, застряли в лифте.
Yeah,
because mission 17 is dangerous
and long.
And yeah, surprisingly long. Well, trying to do it optimally, you can do it in fewer than 8 minutes, which is incredibly fast. But especially in a marathon setting, you're more likely going to be hitting around about 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect all the patterns to
У нас опять стенты вылезают. У него есть теми гранаты?
This is one place where Novice Steve is incredibly consistent. He doesn't want to hesitate going up into that vent. He loves getting into that vent, which is really useful for us.
And he is on cycle here, so he's going to drop again if I'm slow. So the idea is enter the key code, and this Joe is running at me because we grab cancelled. So if you're too slow here, also the Joe will grab you, and that will bring Steve down even quicker. If you're here, good.
Пока не ясно.
Comboed for sure by getting grabbed by the Joe and then having the alien come and then
да,
kill
у него
you
есть
because you
теми
have no
граната.
protection.
I think we're okay here. We're actually in a crouch up. Give the alien some time to latch onto that EMP sound. Good, he's moving
Looks
away.
like good, yeah. So the alien can be in this corridor, and especially if he's trapping the vent that is literally above this thing.
Saw me rotate my camera towards the panel.
Awful.
Yeah, you have to be very,
Так,
very
и
precise
спереди
there.
чужик
Even just the
получается.
edge of Ripley's shoulder, she'll sort of just.
Окей.
It's kind of like cheating. She'll blink under the
Варианты.
vent, even if she wasn't under it, really.
And so coming up is known as the Corridor of Doom.
Yes. Also, I'm looking on either side of the glass here. Sometimes Steve can randomly up vent, and
So no Steve on either side so far, which is good. There's a vent directly above us now,
that's the vent of death.
which the alien
Если
loves to
повезет,
trap, so
его чужик не схавает, не
what we
схватит,
can do to kind of play against it is by hugging the wall as
пока он
tightly as
бежит
possible,
обратно.
it barely allows us to go past and not get killed if the alien does trap it. And after the fourth time of going down that corridor, the alien is almost scripted to actually trap that vent, so it can allow us to run past that and stay alive. Whereas if we tried to run just straight down the corridor, we would instantaneously die without question.
So we're going to go for a bit of a
Сейчас посмотрим, что тут. Но...
So that save.
Ой, тут фейсхайкер.
Only lose sort of 20 or so seconds. But essentially, Steve's going to appear on the other side of that glass. We're not even going to look at him. We're going to run straight at him, pull out the shotgun. The hitbox here is very, very tight, so this can go.
Согрели в прошлую комнату ксеноморфа.
Nice, well done.
He completely ignores this trigger, this line.
Раздали ему с дроби.
We're going to see another very cool thing
По
here.
красоте. Вот это я понимаю. Не, хороший у него РНГ. У него чужой напал только один раз. По сути. И это было заскриптовано.
To only rotate your camera and not move.
Yeah,
because Steve's tail is underneath us.
You greed it, you're gone.
Yep. So
Вообще чужого называют Стивом. Я не знаю, кто-то может пояснить мне за лор Стива? Почему Стива зовут Стивом? Я вообще не помню.
So here there's RNG. I'm going to put up the tracker a few seconds before this gen. Nothing on there. Good.
The alien can drop there, and if he drops there, especially if he drops
Steve,
just
нет
after doing the
Генри.
last generator pull, you just instantaneously die. There's no defense. You're stuck in an animation.
Here we'll
probably safest just here to save here.
So we'll sort of abandon a noise trail. We'll run into a crown shop. So if the alien drops, he won't immediately follow where Ripley is.
And now we have the intense music for the last section.
Such a good
alien
soundtrack.
did drop behind, which is good.
И миссия осталась. Жесть, 3 миссии, ё-моё.
Sometimes the alien can just stagger there
Чужик
and then chase
преследует.
up you again.
Yeah, and if you turn your back to him too quickly, he'll kill you. And now we have...
We might be in perfect pattern to get an alien dropping here.
The scariest event in the game. This actually killed a low percent record pace run of mine because if the alien drops in it, he needs an absolute ton of fuel to use.
Сейф еще один возьмет. Ну ладно.
No, you can oh, okay, that's fortunate. He was in prime position to drop right and like the opposite side of this exit.
Yeah, we're fine for fuel. So
yeah.
if he had dropped, it would have just been scary. But
you have to blow a lot of fuel.
In a run on pace, especially Nightmare, when he moves a tiny bit quicker, it's absolutely terrifying. But I'm not going to complain that I didn't get it.
Yeah. So now we do have about a 30-second breather here, where the alien is not in play. We have a nice little...
Yeah, so
так, стелс пошел, стелс.
We got a $10 donation from Mary X, who says, question for Caraxx, what is your favorite mission?
It's probably, honestly, 17 in Novice and 10 on Nightmare.
Yeah.
10, the alien's a lot more consistent. There's none of that Gemini craziness if you play everything well, but I love how unforgiving 17 is, but if you play it well, it usually cooperates, except at the very end. we can get a bit of random Steve dropping on your head. But yeah, I would say 17 for me and then 10.
Тут
In NMG.
открываем вроде лифт.
I'd honestly agree with both.
Опять.
Mission 17 and Mission 10 are just thrilling missions.
Да. Это самая первая локация, если
Heart rate
что.
monitor during that.
It spikes.
Yeah, it would have spiked. Yeah, for sure.
So fun 100% fact, we have just missed the final
Узнали?
blueprint, which is the EMP.
Согласна.
And unfortunately, there are no androids, so it's one of the worst places.
В общем, да, Севастополю совсем плохо.
I'm actually going to throw one at
Actually, a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a
Он
Joe
начинает
lying on the
падать на
ground that's supposed to
планету.
jump scare you.
И,
Normally
в
we have
общем,
to tweak our camera
надо валить.
in order to avoid getting grabbed. Also, that will bring Steve down if you get grabbed here. But I can just throw one of my, 50,000 mollies that I have left
Такой
over.
раут.
Another thing to point out there is
Well,
pre-crouch before
Ну, это
getting into
сейвовая
bed. It means
страта.
we can do a really cool thing where we do a kind of like sprint burst into a dive underneath this these pipes, and it's
And on the
really
way back
cool.
too.
Yeah, it's not actually like much of a time save, but it's a bit of a
feels
flex.
good, yeah,
It feels really nice. Just feels like clean movement. So here we have
Окей,
two blue
посмотрим.
bags in order to
По идее,
unlock
нужен
the
один
terminal,
фаер.
which will allow us to then
завязать.
extend the flight.
Он его не будет юзать даже.
The docking
Ладно.
bay, or
Thank you, docking clamps, that's the word.
docking, yeah, so you can, by the way, if you were for
Вообще
the eagle ray
жесть.
view, you would have heard Steve moving overhead there.
Профи, играет профи.
So if you over push here and say you ran to this PC, he'd drop and kill you on the animation. See the Joe there has no light in his eyes because of that Molotov that I threw at the beginning.
Normally that's one of the ones that you have to avoid.
В общем, это самое сложное место на кошмаре.
Steve normally moves above us here. He takes a variable amount of time to disappear, but should move.
He should get out of range pretty quickly. You should just be able to sprint past.
Тут даже в ране сейвы берут.
Waiting for the numbers to cycle.
Не на
Check
марафонах,
again at the
я
top of
имею
the
в виду.
stairs.
Просто.
Because again, that's another animation. There's two PCs in this mission. T's, excuse me.
Вот,
And if,
сейчас
Steve
будут
drops on you behind you, as he
очень
loves to do,
неприятные
yeah.
моменты.
Okay.
Вот тут нужно дойти до
0.54.
консоли.
Should be good.
Pre-crouch as well, just in case.
И, в общем, когда мы пойдем обратно, ну,
This will be
наверное,
our
сейв
one mission
возьмет
18
ранее.
save here. There's a really seeing this done just fluidly in
Да.
a run.
В общем, как только мы
It just looks
выйдем,
awesome without the safety save.
из
It sort of
двери
throws the
сразу
rhythm.
же
We're gonna see
появится
in quick
Стив.
succession, we're going to have two Steves. Check my shotgun ammo here. Flick the camera to the left, turn around, blame this guy. He should go up now.
Yeah.
Excellent. Pull out the shotgun. There's many ways you can deal with this guy.
Стиве. И он, по идее, нас сейчас будет
Stomp in the
дудосить.
face. And then that
Так,
flinch mechanic, we
хорошо.
haven't really been able to showcase it yet, but the shotgun should guarantee it.
Вот тут
Yeah,
он
flick
So
my
you heard,
camera, yeah.
you heard the little like growl, snarl, and
Хорош,
It's
that
right
хорош.
behind me there.
Yeah.
So, when you shotgun Steve,
Всё-
he
всё
basically
как
responds
надо,
a lot
всё
better
как
than
надо
the flamethrower on
сыгралось.
Novice. So, what I was
Без,
doing was a mini flinch, so you
приколов.
can hold out the flamethrower and
В
see if
общем,
it stops
есть
the
вероятность
Flick
того,
it backwards,
что
it'll stop
как
for like
только
1 second.
заспаунится
Gives you just enough
Стиви,
time to get to
вот
that handle. It's
этот
one of my
тот
favorite
самый
strats.
чужой,
Now the question is, are you going single huggers or
он
double
может
huggers?
вас
I
сразу
think seeing as we are
сожрать.
deathless so far,
и
I will give
всё.
it one go. So
Nice.
there is, by the way, never hold W in this
И
cutscene,
ГГ.
otherwise you'll go into the face hugger egg that's just in front of you and die. Ripley's been knocked
А
unconscious,
нас
by the way, she's waking up from the sort of
Улей
nest. I always look for a
отвезли.
hugger corpse here. I thought maybe she'd been sort of impregnated or something, but I think she's alright. So yeah, there's two variations of boost. So you can go for single hugger boost, which in itself is still a cool trick. But you can go for double hugger boost, which has a very hefty amount of RNG involved. But the idea is that you run past the first hugger, and there are
Опять
two running
Улей.
at you. Get
У
into
нас-
the vent, get one boost, kill the hugger. that's
Воу,
coming in
тут
from the
сейчас
front,
много
and then the final
фейсхаггеров
hugger
будет. Он их
catches up to
скипнул,
you just in time to
что?
boost you. Unfortunately, there's RNG with the final huggers.
А,
spawn,
нет.
and sometimes the second group of the two front huggers will just jump on my face. So we'll go for it once. Why not?
Он их будет
This,
скипать.
this trick always eludes me in PBs. And I always seem to get it when nothing's on the line.
It's
But here we go.
easily one of the hardest tricks in the game.
Что-то рановато, да? Немножко говорю. Не, ну это жестко.
So that's the
good
first
boost.
hugger boost. We
Now
kill
it's
a
just
hugger.
RNG.
Что это было?
Please,
Что это
please,
за
please,
буст?
please, please, please. Yes!
Nice, well done.
Let's go.
That is fantastic.
I believe
Что
that's the
это за
first double
буст?
hugger
Я
we've
вообще
ever done
первый
in
раз
a marathon
такое
event
вижу.
for Alien. We've had 4 or 5
Yeah.
aliens.
Never been
Nice.
done
Of
before.
course,
Интересно.
World record pace? Nah, never. Oh, it's such a
That's
cool trick.
fantastic. Well done.
Cheers, cheers. Oh, the stars aligned. So yeah, that final hugger, the one who boosted me into the second cutscene. By the way, we skipped that cutscene with the flamethrower damage. If you fire the flamethrower, or you throw a flare or anything like that.
Так она пыталась так сделать, у нее не вышло.
It takes a few seconds to drop down. But yeah, there's RNG on that final hugger spawn, so sometimes he can just.
Читы! Ой, это что, микроразиум ранит? Я в шоке.
You can actually get into like the crawl space itself. So here there are some trams. There is a legitimate strategy known as tram death.
В общем-то, да, он что-то... Там осталось буквально выйти на улицу, по сути, и игра закончится практически. Но там ходьба очень долгая. Там еще надо выполнять квестик. Там есть скип, так сказать, один. Посмотрим. В общем, надо вытаскивать стержни будет. Там можно за одно действие вытащить сразу 2 стержня. То есть 2 раза можно вытащить по 2 стержня и по 4, получается так. Ну, в общем, да, что-то вообще не успевает, судя по всему.
Ripley, instead of climbing all the way down, will just go straight into the animation of falling down the shaft. And James is talking about HP, we should say, because James, you want to just...
Yeah, so this is another place where we get scripted health. So you may have been able to see, just before this, we had almost full health. And after this, you'll notice we only have about 40%.
Сильный, конечно, скип с лестницами.
Because we don't take any more damage throughout the run.
We got places to be. So, gonna light the flare.
Нереально,
so it's throw the flare, and as the flare is flying through the air.
Yeah, just after it's left your hand, so you can even leave it like a fraction of a second later than you think.
Oh, so much pressure.
Жжем фаер.
Bit early.
Вообще, я не особо понимаю, зачем тут фаер нужен был, но окей. Видимо, это прям совсем супер сейф старта. Чтобы тебе чужой вообще не подходил. И на улицу. Слушайте, на самом деле... Можно успеть. Можно успеть до эстимейта.
Right, so we have, I guess, one trick left, I suppose, and then one RNG. Yeah, one trick, one RNG thing. So, the trick that we have coming up is known as double pins. So, at the very end of the game, there are 4 pins that Ripley must interact with in order to finish mission 18. And what we can do is there's a brief delay before
the animation actually
starts after interacting with the prompt.
Он успеет. Так, а как посмотреть ставки? Сейчас я вам скажу все. Кто там, где там? Кого там? А как ставки-то посмотреть? Так, поставить... Кто поставил 23% на первое? Кто этот человек? Ладно, окей. В общем-то, да. Я ставлю, что будет меньше 38. Ой, меньше 48. Мне кажется, будет вот такое время.
Okay, I've got 3 quick ones then. We got $10 from MaryX again, who says no fast walk means a reset. We got $20 from Baldrick's Trousers, who says awesome job, guys. Oh yeah, there you go. And then we got a $25 donation from Andrieka, who says off to work, TY for the stream, guys, and good luck with double.
И вот эти стержни.
Yeah, everyone, even I know some people.
Надо их открыть сначала. Там карточки вот эти вот. Боси.
Helping push it to the rest of Twitch and all that stuff. Like, thank you to everyone from both of us. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
As we head into the final interface, I guess, in the game.
So, a very, very rare bug that can occur here is an alien can drop.
Так, вот они открылись.
Did you?
Yeah, very, very faint.
Посмотрим.
So this trick, the alien can be around, but he should only kill you really if you've died in this mission, and we're deathless. So
yeah, we are
fingers crossed.
Сможет ли он вытащить
Nice.
сразу
So that's the
две?
first double pins. You can see that the camera quickly flicked over and we got the second one.
Mashing E. Some people do it with mouse wheel, but I always find it more consistent with E. Basically just grabbing both prompts in quick succession. So we got one at least.
Да, у него получилось. Первое у него вышло. Хорошо.
Oh, it's glitchy pin.
Yes, nice.
Fantastic. Well done.
So you see people going, oh, you didn't get double pins, your run's dead. Like, nah, it's just the game logging out.
А
If you do that
вторая...
too quickly, the animation never plays for the first pin to interact with. Which is
Вторая тоже
fantastic.
вроде получилась.
So here we have one final cutscene.
Второй
one last
почему-то
hurrah for Red Blade.
анимация
Yeah.
не
But this
прока.
last cutscene is Sevastopol going into the gas
Я не
giant,
знаю
burning
почему.
up, exploding. But Ripley needs to escape first. So as we release these docking clamps,
Thieves everywhere.
blasting the Torrens back into space, we have clipped ourselves on, and we will find ourselves flying towards the airlock.
Boom.
And we hope for the last track.
Yes, so there is
В общем,
a
да.
50% chance, roughly 50-50.
Это почти конец. Нам осталось только выйти из катсцены, пройти, и нам не повезло. Тут может рандомно
Got to go back to the beginning now.
быть скорость выше, либо ниже.
We
А
finally
хотя
go back
подожди,
again.
или вроде это нормальная
Calm
скорость.
and quiet.
Blaine's had a bit of a makeover. She seems much taller.
Не, вроде это нормальная скорость, окей.
Fresh pearly
Да,
skin,
всё окей.
white teeth. On the other side of the
Тогда
top.
все
Yeah,
good.
Verlaine. Unfortunately, Verlaine is no more. Poor Verlaine.
And
ТАП
all I'm
48.
doing here is just holding down the backwards key. As this, there's basically like a sort
ТАП
of
48?
autoscroller,
There's a series of prompts,
that you have to.
and if you can preemptively press them.
And then when the screen fades to
Да он
black,
еще не нажимает!
every time,
Да,
just as the alien sort of rears at us.
да ты что? Блин,
And that is it. So I am
время!
absolutely ecstatic
Время.
to have been able to run this today for you guys. Just like I said
Да
before,
он,
if you see
да
anything
это он
which you enjoy,
специально
you
все
can
сделал.
or if
Я
you just
знаю, что он
enjoy
сделал
the
специально
universe
это
and you
все.
want to chat about it, please do visit
Ну,
us over at speedrun.com.
как же он меня ненавидит.
My Twitch name is same as there on the screen, Caraxx. And James, you wanna? plug
Yeah,
yourself
so
quickly?
my name is Sneaky James, also on the screen now.
В общем, да, концовка открытая, типа. Но на самом деле концовка закрытая. Продолжения не будет. Расходимся.
Donation's been fantastic. I mean, so many names from the donation bar
Вот
have
так
been
вот.
from people in the community.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I
Победили.
want to give a huge thank you to everyone in the Alien community.
Yeah.
Everyone here as
Победили
well.
четвертое.
for
People getting
joining.
up super early.
Thank you so much for everyone being here.
Yeah.
And as Caraxx mentioned, if you do want to see
Вот
more Alien,
все
if you do want to
претензии
try this
к
yourself, if you've been inspired by what you've seen today,
раннеру.
please do join the Alien Isolation Discord. It's on the speedrun.com page, which is speedrun.com/AI.
Yep.
There are many new people currently learning the game, so you're in safe hands as well.
And
It is
good
not just
company
your
as
own thing, and we're currently having a bit of a boom with the community. Really, it's fantastic. So now's a fantastic time to
Не,
join.
ну,
Yeah,
ран,
this is
конечно,
And it's great
крутой.
to see some new people.
Massive thanks to ESA
Нет.
as well for having us on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
НМГ это,
So,
конечно,
you hand it over.
жесть.
Awesome, thank you. Yes,
Это-
thank
это
you very much
кринж.
for that run. I thoroughly enjoyed all 3 almost-ish hours of that.
НМГ это
And
кринж.
just a little announcement. During that run, by the way, we also hit $30,000
Wow.
for charity.
Well done.
So
That
thank
is
you so
incredible.
much. Yes, but coming up next, we have Kirby and the Forgotten Land by Samurai Man. Don't go anywhere.
Можно? Да нет.